Well, that went well, didn't it? All right, stand by. I'll try and get the rest of the crew on here. What a mess. Sorry, folks. Oh, hi, guys.
Cooey.
That's a shame. Now our wonderful analysis of Torture Ship, which was equally torturous, is gone forever.
It is,
Thank
and I can't believe we finished the film so quickly. It was,
Gone
it was
and,
very impressive.
Gone, but definitely forgotten.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you all had time to refill your drinks. Jesus, what a mess. Terrible. Okay, well, that's YouTube for you.
Did you put out a new link on your twits?
No.
Better do that.
On his tits. Hold on. I
That
didn't know
too,
that's where
that
we
too.
were coming. Oh.
I mean, all right.
I
That'd be that
didn't
kind
even-
of party. I'm gonna stick my dick in the mashed potatoes.
Oh.
It didn't even have a YouTube link until 30 seconds ago. All right, we'll do that.
While on the woke subject, I go to Oktoberfest every other year in Munich, and I encountered a lady from Portland the last time I was there, and she ticked every single box. She was going out with a trans boyfriend. She was the most, I don't know, oh god, she was insufferable. One of my friends in the group was like totally besotted with her, so she became a tag along for about 4 hours, and it was just the most awful. Thank God there was beer.
I'm a little curious about the date. She was dating a trans man or a trans woman?
A guy who dresses as a girl and is bisexual, and all of the other tick boxes that you want to fill. Really,
he gives her the dick. Then
I mean, I probably.
I smell pegging.
I'm just.
I do too.
Let's assume nothing.
Okay,
She's from
all
Portland. Right. I'm sure the strap-on was on. Pegging is.
Ugh.
Yeah. Mm.
I can't imagine being a woman and just getting hot and heavy, and you look up and there's just a dude with a beard with lipstick and a dress on. I just like, oh yeah, that really gets.
Do you have a camera in my bedroom?
I might.
Okay, I'm just saying.
I mean, everyone just assumes I'm a furry anyway with this avatar, so I'm just going to play along.
Everyone assumes I'm a furry because I'm covered in fur, because I'm actually a Sasquatch American. As a Yeti.
Oh wow!
A cannoli
I used to joke. So when I was in California, the company that I worked at, I only lived like a block away from, and so if a server would go down in the middle of the night, I would get an alert and go running over there. And I used to joke that at some point there was going to be in the news Bigfoot sighting, because I just I'm not even going to get dressed. I'm just going to run over there bare-assed, and people will be like, "Oh my God, I saw Bigfoot. He was just running down the street."
Okay. making the what's it that stance, that half walking, just like you got deer.
Yeah, just kind of limp-handed, just kind of looking, what's up, it's long striding. Hey, yeah. Well, and that would be me if you woke me up at Odark 30. You're not getting a lot of verbal.
Have you guys seen the found footage Sasquatch movie at all? With where like this couple go camping and they're really into Sasquatch lore, and so they figure out, like there's this forest where there's a lot of sightings, and then they just end up fighting like literally an entire society of Bigfoots.
No.
Oh,
No, but I
it's
want
Like
now.
I was nowhere near that couple.
oh, okay. I mean, it was quite a fun watch for a found footage, but it's just Bigfoot's fucking with a couple for like not like fucking, maybe fucking. Who knows?
Well, then I definitely wasn't there.
Well,
I
that's
think
disappointing.
didn't Red Letter Media do a big Bigfoot video this week? I think they did one for their Halloween special.
This
a week
week,
Really?
I don't know. A
Yeah,
Suburban
yeah, they did.
Sasquatch, I'm very familiar with.
Yeah, well, so the funny thing, there was in the 70s, there were a lot of like schlock horror movies that involved Bigfoot and things like that, and so my dad used to take us to all kinds of crap. So we went to go see this, and at the time we lived out in this kind of country house, and we get back, and my brother, who's 11 years older than me, we both realized that because there's a scene where somebody's like in their bathroom doing something like taking a shower or something, and Bigfoot reaches, breaks the window and reaches in and grabs them, right? And we both get in and realize our bathroom looks exactly like what we just saw in the movie.
Oh no!
Neither of us were willing to take baths for a good long time because of this. It was like, no. Maybe in the daylight. This ain't happening at night because Bigfoot, he only come out at night.
Unrelated, but I did see. I remember seeing Eden Lake.
Yeah.
And that film is really, really close to where I was living at the time, and there's an awful lot of little towns like that nearby. So me and girlfriend at the time, we came out of the cinema and thought that was a little disturbing. That's a bit too close to home. So we needed a palate cleanser, and a film that we'd hardly heard anything about was Tropic Thunder, and it was playing right next door. So
Perfect.
so we finished the night. Oh, it was wonderful.
Well,
Absolutely.
that'll get you laid.
Totally.
Got laid that very night.
All right.
I stayed in character all the way through to the director's commentary.
I do.
Turn camera.
Yeah, just a second.
102, take one.
So Jamma is making a
action,
point.
please. Action, awesome, please.
Just do anything?
No, sorry, cut. Yeah, rolling. 102, take two.
B-sides behind the scenes.
Ah, the French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence. There is a California champagne by Paul Masson, inspired by that same French excellence. It's fermented in the bottle, and like the best French champagne, it's vintage dated. So
Cut.
Paul Masson.
102, take three. Action, please.
Ah, the French champagne has always been celebrated for its
Oh
excellence.
yes, she is.
There is a California champagne by Paul Masson, inspired by that same French excellence. It's fermented in the bottle, and like the best French champagne, it's vintage dated. So
Cut.
Paul Masson.
Imagine the excitement on those actors when they were telling their friends, "I'm going to work with Orson Welles tomorrow."
working with Orson
This
Welles.
is incredible.
And if you watch the supporting people, they're trying so hard.
Oh,
to
yeah.
Well,
hold
they
it
are
in.
absolutely in character. Nothing's breaking. They're taking it very seriously, and he is just slovenly drunk, going through the French.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay, so now Vex, do you know who Barry White is?
Yes, the singer, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
We have some Barry White for you. Oh yeah. Get ready. Put on your seatbelt. Put down the towel.
Yeah, let me put down the towel.
Barry White's
Okay.
about to talk. Yeah.
All right. Where's Barry White?
Adam is also putting on his seatbelt and getting the towel down. And Barry White's
Come
a
on,
sexy man. That's
I'm
all I
drying
got.
out here. I'm drying out here.
Oh no. Barry will start talking and then gush. Adam, are you actually operating your computer or?
No, I have a group of trained otters here.
Smylexx, talk to your people.
What do
Oh,
you mean, my
sorry.
people?
I'm scrambling. Imagine that.
You scrambled.
Oh my God, I apparently YouTube thought that movie was worse than I did, and
Well, for once in my life, I'm siding with YouTube.
Yeah, me too. Unfortunately.
we're recalibrating here. Okay, so it's time
And
to
all
watch
good.
some 16 millimeter
No,
education.
no. You've got to give her Barry White. We promised her Barry White. She's got the seatbelt on. She's got the towel down. She is ready
I was in the toilet.
for
Who
the
promised her Barry
No,
White?
I did. She is ready for the chocolate whale of love.
Well,
Were you in the toilet trying to find another thing to put on this stream? Is that what you were doing?
no,
Amelia, I haven't done the washing up. I've got a filthy spatula.
Bum bum bum.
I
Is that okay?
had other stuff, but it wasn't Barry White. So okay, fine. Cover for me for 5 minutes, and I'll
Fine.
get
Okay. So
I'll get you Barry White.
Jamalama was pointing out about big feet. So when I was first married, I was working at a call center, and I was leaning back and put my feet up on my desk, and there was a gal across the bay from me, and she looks down, and I have size 13 feet, right? And she looks at me, and she's immediately like, "Ooh, child." And I said, "I'm afraid that if you believe in that, you're going to be very disappointed." That you know what they say about a man with big hands and big feet, right? Yeah, that's
Very
right. 2
difficult
out
to
of
get-
3 ain't bad.
Very difficult to buy clothes.
Yes. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
I've also got a very creamy whisk.
Yes.
Is that all right, Amelia?
Oh my.
What is that?
What kind of
Ooh.
batter do you have for us?
I make a filthy Yorkshire pudding.
Does it involve bogging?
I think it is, yeah.
Yes.
I do think that counts as bogging.
Exactly.
You know,
And-
I've never seen Orson Welles footage before. I've only seen pictures of him, but I've never watched interviews of him.
Oh wow! We have another, don't we? We have an audio clip as well of him getting some direction in a radio studio.
Yes, he's very
Really
unimpressed,
irritated.
yes, with the
He gets
direction that
a
he's getting.
little bit agitated in that.
He is a
There's,
bit more sober.
Yeah, he's a little bit more sober, but more angry. I think I've seen some interviews with him over the years where he always seemed just a little bit like he was 2 drinks away from being drunk.
Oh, his certainly from the
Two drinks for
60s
Orson
on,
is like 2 wine barrels.
yeah,
By
exactly.
Paul Masson.
Yeah, Paul Masson or whatever. See, I'm young enough to remember those Paul Masson ads,
Oh yeah,
and they weren't that much better in the final take either. They were.
Oh my God, what happened? Keep vamping, everybody.
Okay.
All
right.
the French.
All right.
You can keep joking about me showing you the homosexual movie twice, but guess what we're doing right now?
You are not showing me. You're not showing me Sid Davis and the Inglewood Police Department.
That's right. That's right. We saved that one.
Jamalama likes eating something
Yeah.
quite salacious there.
Uh-huh.
Surprise, surprise. Oh
Shall I give you my address, Jamalama, then?
You're moving. That doesn't count.
I could eat pudding all day long.
Oh, that's why that whisk is filthy.
You can have my address.
And I want to eat your pudding.
Oh my God. What a train wreck this show is. Okay, here
Do
we go.
you have a Henry Cavill picture there? Black lives are black folks.
Somebody's hitting on you.
Oh no.
Hi, this
I
is
love
Barry
Lucky
White.
Lives.
Please join me
Never
on
hear of it.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, May 8th, 9th, and 10th for the first fucking thing. I'm cutting a fucking spot, Tony. Jesus. Hi, this is Barry White, and Paul Quinn College cordially invite you to a weekend in Texas on Friday, Saturday, one more time. Saturday and Sunday. Shit. Hi, this is Barry White, and Paul Quinn College cordially invites you to a weekend in Texas on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, May 8th, 9th, and 10th. As the shit. Hi, this is Barry White, and Paul Quinn College cordially invites you to a weekend in Waco, Texas. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, May 8th, 9th, and 10th. This gala weekend will include the welcoming of celebrities, reception on Friday, the first, second,
ATF.
and third rounds of tennis tournament. The first, second, and third rounds of... Hi, this is Barry White, and Paul Quinn College cordially invites you to a weekend in Waco, Texas. Welcoming celebrities, some reception on Friday. Let's take it after the 8th, 9th, and 10th. Okay? Do it over. Fuck it. Hi, this is Barry White, and Paul Quinn College cordially invites you to a beautiful weekend in Waco, Texas on Friday. This asshole fucked these words up, man. I mean, he's got words that he don't even need. Hi, this is Barry White, and Paul Quinn College cordially invites you to a beautiful weekend in Waco, Texas. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, May 8th, 9th, and 10th. This gala weekend will include the welcoming celebrity reception on Friday, the first, second, and third rounds of the tennis tournament, the Barry White concert with the Love Unlimited Orchestra, of course, and the post-concert reception on Saturday, and a championship semi-finals. Fuck this shit, man. I'm gonna cut this shit off. All right, fuck this. I'm gonna take it up to, concert and Love Unlimited Orchestra. That's where I'm gonna stop at. So get your tickets now. Hi, this is Barry White, and Paul Quinn College cordially invites your ass to come on down. Hi, this is Barry White, and Paul Quinn College cordially invites you to a beautiful weekend on Friday, Saturday. Ain't this a bitch? Oh, Lord.
You know, I imagine just hearing that is probably what inspired the entire situation in Waco, Texas. So maybe we have Barry White to blame for that now.
Shit! This motherfucker done fucked up all the words.
Wow.
I just love Barry White, the smoothest motherfucker on the planet. You know, I mean, next to the host of Soul Train, Don Cornelius, but Barry White just smooth it. Shit. All right, I'm gonna start this over, but this is Barry White, and then they go, "Fuck this motherfucker!" This is Barry White.
Yeah, game face back home. He's a professional.
Party, party, party to my fine clock radio loving. Well, this is where we're at. Do we want to replay all the
Barry more than just foreplay. Barry will get you all the way there.
we got
Like all the way, baby.
All the
We're
way.
going all night long.
In Waco, Texas.
Wow, we're down to 7 viewers. Well
Oh.
done. Jesus fuck.
Sorry, YouTube.
They're dedicated.
Somebody at YouTube fuck this up. Shit.
Motherfucker done fucked this up.
Barry White.
Shit. This is B-side rolls. With,
Some copyright troll. Fuck
some
this.
copyright and bullshit.
Okay, so we can go through our greatest hits, which includes a film about beware of homosexuals.
Oh?
No. We need to show Vex attack lesbians.
Oh?
Oh.
I mean, this is a woman who demands scissoring every chance she gets.
It is really good.
I wouldn't say I demand scissoring. I just
strongly encourage.
I endorse it. Yes.
Yes.
This is like some weird forced initiation of lesbianism. It is it's real interesting.
Okay. All right.
We'll just entertain Vex here.
She is. It's true. Vex is the young Deb in this group right now.
Yeah.
She about to find out.
Wait,
Okay.
which of us has the pipe? Is that me? Can't be me.
Oh, that's you. That's you. That's you.
A lead pipe. Fuck. Give me 10 seconds here. Oh my god.
It's
Everything's
the first time you
falling
said
apart.
that to a group of people, is it? Huh? Give me 10
Yeah.
seconds.
This is Smylexx's pipe.
That's all it takes. I'm 53 years old. Okay. Well, we're doing this.
Ain't much lead in that pipe.
We're doing this. Video file. And we're doing this. Okay, fine. Brace yourselves, everybody. Here we go.
All right.
The party had reached a peak.
music, in all honesty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is music to scissor to.
Giving me ideas.
Yeah, I know, Black Lives. We're falling apart here.
A decision finally being reached,
Give us some money on Patreon.
and the
all right?
dyke to carry out the initiation picked. They all left the room ready and eager to assist if necessary.
It's a Nazi symbol?
Yes,
Yep.
I'm also. Yeah,
Isn't that what we said last
pointed that out. Yeah.
Ah.
The dyke and the young Deb enter the bedroom, and the suspense begins for the dead.
Are they on a ship? I can't tell.
No. Well,
I
I
don't
haven't
see
seen
any
any louvered
movers.
doors. So.
All right.
The dyke is in no hurry.
R2's got
Is
some
all
weird
evening.
taste. It's like Clockwork Orange.
Is this about to be a gangbang?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. A vintage gangbang.
The young Deb, realizing now what they've worked out for her, begins to show fear.
What the fuck?
Look, this is educational, Vex. You need to learn this.
She tries to escape. That doesn't work.
Just like Vex trying to get away from Adam's movies.
But we couldn't decide last time we watched this if it was a stag film or like a legit.
Oh, I think it's a stag film.
I think so.
Right.
But the dykes are too strong for her, and eventually she's overpowered.
That's right. Bob Dylan makes his move.
This is the King Dyke.
Well, she drew the long straw, so she wins. She gets to initiate the young Deb.
This is more sexy than scary.
The bull dyke will now do her work.
The bull?
That's what she said. That's what he heard. You heard it.
Shut your mouth, Camelina. This belongs to us.
The dyke never feels remorse or shame for what she has done. To her, it's another conquest. One to be remembered for a short time and then forgotten. Soon the party will be over and she'll return to the heterosexual world that she so violently rejects. A world that she must constantly be on the guard against. A world and its male desire to be cured. They cannot cure themselves entirely. Sound medical treatment and advice is necessary to effect a permanent cure. Medical authorities state that lesbianism is a symptom that affects the personality. Treatment is aimed at changing that personality structure.
Treatment for men. Oh my god.
And then it should fade straight into Taxi Driver with this shot.
Was that it? Is it over?
Yeah, that's where it gets cut off. Ugh.
Disappointing.
What is this called? Hold on, I need to look this up.
You'll watch this 5 more times.
on
Like,
YouTube,
I wasn't even taking notes. I didn't realize. Oh my god.
on
Right.
YouTube, it's called lesbian initiation.
Lesbian initiation.
Fiona informed us that that's a huge subgenre on certain hubs.
I
Yeah.
bet.
Lesbian initiation.
And it gives you a tiny insight into Atom's search history.
Yes.
Listen, hey.
Yeah.
All right, I'm bookmarking this for later.
Okay.
Damn right.
So if we're doing greatest hits for Vex, we have to do NASA.
Oh,
What?
shit. We should do NASA.
We have to do NASA.
We're in
actually,
the weeds
I mean,
already.
Well, it's all about education at this point.
Yeah.
Vex has clearly missed out on huge educational opportunities.
And
And it's our job to correct that as best we can.
Guys, I think I want to be pinned down by a bunch of dice and all.
I know. Well, we drew straws earlier. Smylexx actually pulled the long straw. So
I'm just warming my pipe up.
exactly. Yeah.
What?
He's doing his best Bob Dylan right now.
Okay. All right. Well, then you gotta give me a couple minutes here.
No problem.
I'm gonna show you a little
So-
palette
so-
cleanser.
So Vex, you've studied history, right?
Clearly not well enough.
Well, I mean, that's educational. That's more health class, things like that. But you're aware of, like, the space program and that sort of thing, right?
We've been to space?
We
Yes,
have.
I-
We have. Yeah. Okay. Well, the stories that you've actually been told are only one side of the true space race that was going on.
History is told by the victors. so.
It is,
Yes, yes.
especially the white ones.
The white ones.
Yes.
Yum, yum.
Mm.
It's a meal in itself. Our all-meat super dog. Enjoy one now.
I'm feeling some really conflicting messaging here.
Unless you're a
just-
lesbian.
Yeah, you just showed me a lesbian initiation film, and now I'm looking at hot dogs.
I'm just killing time.
Look,
show is
bewilderment is all part of the experience, Vex. It's understandable the first time that you would resist, but we're just trying to initiate you properly.
Okay.
As a young Deb, you need to just lay back and relax and
Let it happen.
let it happen.
I'm just gonna, edit out this initiation film and just put Henry Cavill's face on all of those women.
Yes, yes.
Then it's not so bad being.
You'd be like,
pinned down
Henry,
like
your
that.
pecs seem awfully polygonal.
Oh no! Don't
Right.
replace Bob Dylan though. I like Bob Dylan. She's cool.
We all know he wore a bullet bra.
Yeah, rocket tits were a thing.
All right, we're working on it here. I have to download everything before I can put it on stream here.
Right, right.
Jammer, you say that you'll selflessly volunteer to cure lesbians, but let's face it, lesbians in the real world don't look like the ones that you're looking at.
No. I mean, Bob Dylan maybe, although more flat. Much more Bob Dylan in reality. Yeah.
Okay, we got it. Hang on. Wow, what a fantastic Halloween stream this has turned out.
Ooh. Well, it was spooky. I mean, it was
Well,
like
YouTube definitely tricked us. Now we're just giving Vex the treats.
yeah.
Jesus fucking hell.
The way it just sort of stopped suddenly was like the Blair Witch Project.
It was.
So
Yeah.
there is that.
Did it do that the last time, or did I get a different file?
No, it like abruptly, it just talks about there's a cure, and we were like, oh, really? We're going to start talking about the cure? No, we're not. No.
Yeah, it starts abruptly, like it's a weird excerpt. Okay. Mhm.
And it's Halloween, so these are not just files, they are necrophiles.
Well, the title of the stream is Torture Treat, so oh my god. All right. Vex Are you ready? Brace
Are you ready
yourself.
for a proper history lesson in the space program?
Is it going to turn me gay? Because
No, gay.
That's later.
No.
Have you
No.
failed the paper bag test?
what is the paper bag test?
You don't know what the paper bag test is?
Well,
She doesn't know about the 3 seashells.
The 3 seashells. No, it's understandable. It's understandable. I understand. Okay.
Okay, so legitimately, the paper bag test was like a product of the early 20th century where if you were darker than a paper bag, you were a Negro. If you were lighter than a paper bag, you were white.
Okay.
That's the horrible reality of
Well, more than that. So different areas. So like in Louisiana, well, a lot of states had a 1 drop policy. If you had any black person in your lineage, you were black by law. But also that they had different. Louisiana is pretty famous for having different phrases for different mixes. So you had cartoons, mulatto, and each one was based on both heritage and pigmentation. And so there's this huge racial classification that they had in especially during Jim Crow era.
Huh.
yeah, it was a thing. Here we go.
A lot of people today, they don't think about it.
If you will.
They say, oh, they're putting a man on the moon. Or, oh, they're setting up another space shuttle. But you see, they don't realize that in the early days of the space program, NASA was whites only.
I'm with you, Amelia.
This was, when was it? 1957, 58. It was a different time, you understand. See, in 1957, if you were black and if you were an astronaut, you were out of work.
They had names like Loopy Louie Hayes, Suitcase Jefferson, and Rocket Randall. What they lacked in technical know-how, they more than made up for in courage and zeal. The courageous heroes of the old Negro space program.
Are you taking notes, Vex?
I'm still speechless.
Mission accomplished.
Oh, it started like any old thing, I suppose. It started over a girl. I was over at this little juke joint where we used to hang out at. And I was making time with this cute little stuck-up thing named Alita Monroe, who I...
Am I the only one that saw in the background that it's a Coca-Cola sign with Uncle Tom's
Place? Yeah.
Hurry back!
Cute little stuck-up thing named Alita Monroe, who I later on married. She told me she couldn't be with a man who didn't have no job. So I called up my best friend, Louis Hayes. I said, Louis, where can a Negro get a job? It was a different time, you understand. 1957, 58. So Louis said he heard that they were forming a new government agency. So the both of us went down to NASA. But to our surprise, they weren't hiring any Negroes at NASA. It was a different time, you understand.
I do understand.
It was a different time.
It was a different time.
1957 or 58. America's love affair with racism was in full swing. NASA was no exception.
What?
Help me, NASA. Help me. Help me save this dream.
What we see recurring or reoccurring, if I may, in this story or tale, if you will, is the insistence or the assertion on the part of NASA that it never happened, which I think is a very roundabout way of denying or negating something, if that is indeed your intention or your intent.
We was young and we didn't know nothing, but we wasn't gonna let nobody tell us we couldn't do it. So
I'm sorry. I'm laughing about what's coming about the guy flying into the
Hey,
tree.
no spoilers. No spoilers. No spoilers.
got ourselves some uniforms, and I told Alita Monroe that I was working for NASA, the Negro American Space Society of Astronauts. Got laid that very night.
Amen, brother. Amen.
The uniforms were stitched by hand. The rockets, cobbled together from NASA's discards.
What?
All right, just a second. All right, we got to pause this. Adam, for God's sakes.
Word spread.
I'm coming.
Yeah. Okay, so R2, yes, and there's a reason for that. Also, this is 20 years ago this was made.
Yeah. It's pretty ahead of its time.
Well, no, it was right for its time. It's just that
Well, it's got
if
much
you were
worse
in the
now.
university system,
Yeah.
you already saw this shit coming.
Yeah.
Hey.
So Vex, are you taking notes on how history actually happened?
I want a NASA shirt, man.
Oh yes.
That will be
Help
the
me,
first.
NASA. Help me.
Well,
Oh, NASA, stop beating me, NASA.
wait till you find out
That'll
the
be
true
the
accomplishments
the
of the
first
old Negro space program.
B-roll merchandise will be a NASA baseball jersey. Oh my God, it's so good.
And one of those helmets.
Word spread quickly. By the summer of 1960, NASA had over 240 blackstronauts. White NASA was beginning to take notice.
Kennedy
Stop.
was aware of the Negro space program.
Blackstronauts got her.
Astronauts, if you will.
If you will.
If you will.
See, white NASA,
The black exploration of space.
tried to claim that this didn't exist, which is, I believe, a way of negating or making unknown
If you
thing
will.
that happened, if you will.
Hold on. But why are the black astronauts still in white astronaut suits?
Well, they're their own. Notice it still says NASA on their
cast-offs.
suits.
They were hand stitched.
These are hand stitched.
Black Lives got my joke earlier.
And very much against it.
Let my blackstronauts
his
go.
stance on civil rights notwithstanding. One can only imagine, as terrified as the administration was of losing the space race to the Russians, they were 10 times more terrified of losing it to the Negroes.
As Washington fumed, Harlem celebrated. The ragtag group of blackstronauts were becoming minor celebrities, traveling from town to town, staging launches to raise money, endorsing local businesses. Their exploits
Pause on that one.
glorified in song.
Oh, there goes Loopy Louie.
Where's he going, friend?
If I know Loopy Louie, he's shooting up again.
Is that right?
He's shooting up again.
Don't tell me.
He's shooting up again.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
For a time, it seemed the Negro space program could do no wrong. But there were casualties. With their cloth spacesuits and their makeshift rockets, blackstronauts faced far greater hardships than their white counterparts.
Best
A week
rip
into
shaft
his
ever.
first orbital mission, Sullivan Carew wrote home to his wife in Smithfield.
Dear Sarah, The indications are very strong that I shall attempt re-entry tomorrow. And lest I shall not be able to write you again, I feel impelled to write a few lines, that they may fall under your eye when I am no more. It sure is fucking cold up here.
This is a
Yes,
joke,
sir.
right?
I about froze my motherfucking nuts off. God damn. Space is one cold motherfucker. Sarah, my love for you is deathless. It seems to bind me to you with mighty cables that only omnipotence can break. But shit, woman, it is cold as fuck up here.
Sullivan Carew died 2 days later upon re-entry. Even so, casualties did not slow down Black NASA as they did White NASA.
Here we have a tale of two very different cultures, or cultural settings, if I may. For example, when the Apollo 1 astronauts blew up on the launch pad, there was an investigation and a congressional hearing, and so on and so forth. By contrast, when the Negro astronaut Peter Stinky Pete Carver caught fire in a church parking lot in Elgin, Illinois.
Oh my God, play that again.
It is the best.
I can't believe you people aren't taking history seriously.
Oh, Sticky Pete.
For God's sakes, this is what actually happened.
Petey stinks,
Are you people so absolutely soaked in the lies that have been told to you that you can't see the truth put in front of your face?
Pete Carver caught fire in a church parking lot in Elgin, Illinois.
God.
I hate myself.
This is history, damn it.
It's the untold truth.
Y'all can deny it all you want to, but I'm telling you this is how it happened.
It was 57.
It was 57 or 58.
Caught fire in a church parking lot in Elgin,
Stinky
Illinois.
Pete.
They just casually extinguished him, and he was ready for another launch the next morning.
Did we break you finally, Vex?
I'm gonna throw up. Oh my God.
See, this is what happens when the truth smacks you. You realize your whole life has been a lie. You feel physically ill.
Peter Stinky Pete Carver caught fire in a church parking lot in Elgin, Illinois. They just casually extinguished him, and he was ready for another launch the next morning.
Before long, Washington had had enough. But the Negro space program was not easily shut down.
So that she can get the full
At this
historical
point,
record
or
here.
Juncture, NASA goes ahead.
This woman gain control of her senses so she can fully absorb the truth that is being told to her right now.
This is
Send the dykes in to hold me down. Oh my God.
Stinky Pete Carver caught fire in a church parking lot in Elgin, Illinois. They just casually extinguished him, and he was ready for another launch the next morning.
Before long, Washington had had enough. But the Negro space program was not easily shut down.
At this point, or juncture, NASA goes ahead and poaches some of the lighter-skinned black astronauts. And to a certain extent, this worked quite well. Gordon Cooper, Buzz Aldrin could pass for white. And of course, the final blow, the coup de grace, if I may, was the so-called blackout, in which Washington surreptitiously prevents the media from discussing the accomplishments of the black astronauts, and instead encourages them to spread rumors of riots and civil unrest. In fact, much of the news we read in those days was all part of a well-orchestrated diversion or misdirection, if you will. The lesson here, I think, is that people believe what they want to believe.
Why is
The
a Jew
final
telling
blow
me
to the
about Black
Negro space
history?
program came ironically at its
Don't
finest
question his
hour.
gender studies degree.
September 31st,
Because history is written by the victors.
1966.
He has a black girlfriend.
A full 3 years before Neil Armstrong. Jefferson and Hayes land their modified Cadillac Coupe de Ville just east of the Sea of Tranquility. But because of the black blackout, the accomplishment is completely buried by the mainstream media.
Page 34.
Pause. Okay, so in the actual high def version of this, what it says is that they actually got lost and somehow ended up on the moon.
They wouldn't ask for directions.
Well, I wouldn't either if I was driving around as a black man in the South at that time.
Well, we expect
Wrong neighborhood.
to be heroes. But when we got back, we were just Negroes.
Dejected and discouraged, NASA officially disbanded. But its heroes live on, for the few who care to learn their story.
Truth shall make us free. Truth shall make us free. Truth shall make us free someday. Deep in my heart, I do believe truth shall make us free someday.
No one actually caught fire.
Yeah, so
we shall overcome.
It's very well done. That it really is.
Very well done.
R2 is actually putting in the words from the news story. He's correct. So it was nominated for the 2005 Nebula Award. The problem is that releasing a video onto the internet wasn't considered a professional release. It was later released in 2006 to like a small film group, but because it had previously been allegedly sort of released on the internet, it was then disqualified for any awards because it wasn't new for that year.
A bit like your sex tapes.
Kind of, yeah. Except nobody was awarding that anything other than a delete.
Gemma, you mean NASA piece?
Nice a piece. Wow.
Welcome to B-Sides, Vex.
I'm speechless.
See, this is the thing. So the Smylexx and I are both very familiar with this video. I absolutely remember when it came out, like 2004, 2000, must have been 2004, 2005, and just laughed my ass off because it was such a brilliant satire of Ken Burns' baseball.
It's spotless. I can't believe I missed the original release of it, but
then also the hilarious, the white gender, grievance studies professor who is just talking
Straight out of
absolute
Spinal Tap
shit and the repeating himself multiple times to sound like he's actually saying something important.
Says an awful lot, but doesn't actually say anything at all.
There's a lot of words. There's very little content in anything he's saying.
Oh, he was there.
But no, it's very much patterned on. So two things. One is the words of the astronaut that's up there was like, but it's motherfucking cold. So the structure of that is based on Ken Burns' Civil War documentary, which had many letters that were written by soldiers in the war, and so that's why it has that tone.
Yeah, it's very well observed, isn't it? So as a parody, it's very well observed,
especially of the Ken Burns style. Where you've got the stills and the panning of the stills and all that. And then the other is Ken Burns' documentary Baseball, specifically when he's talking about the Negro Leagues. that operated in parallel with Major League Baseball. And Major League Baseball really did take light-skinned blacks that they thought they could pass as Cuban or Hispanic in some way, and brought them in because they were forbidden from integrating until Jackie Robinson. And that's where a lot of the names come from, like Stinky Pete and all that stuff, right? Those are actually names that Negro League players had. And actually, the Negro League Baseball Museum is just like 50 miles from where I am in Kansas City.
Wow.
Yeah, so have fun living in America, Vex.
I mean, I'll be in the free state of Florida, so.
Oh, no, it's fine there. There's no weirdness going on in Florida.
Not at all. Just kind of meth.
The Deep South in no way had a problem with Negroes
not at
or
all.
anything. No.
Nope.
Now, not so much. I mean, now, please come back. Yeah, you don't want to be in Detroit or anything.
Are you going there to be closer to Disney?
Maybe. I just can't get enough of KK and what she spreads around the world, you know?
Yeah, Gemma.
I'm sorry. You can't get enough of the KKK and what they spread around the world? Is that what you said?
You got it right. Yep.
Okay,
yep.
I thought so. All right.
I'm a proud brown white supremacist.
Yes. You and Dave Chappelle.
Are the KKK really into Dungeons and Dragons? Because I've never really understood the names, the titles.
Well, as a Grand Wizard, it's either that or Tolkien. Now a Grand Dragon, that's impressive. And oh, by the way, identifying as different long before the left picked up on that as sexual identities or anything like that. So if you identify as a dragonkin, the KKK is a welcoming place, I believe.
Could you describe it as LARPing?
I could cosplaying.
Yeah, very ahead of the time.
Wow, this has been quite an evening, hasn't it?
I mean, Vex's eyes have been open to so much. I mean, the educational value. I think
not
is,
all that's
is really
been
the
open.
most important thing.
I'm so confused. Morally, mentally, sexually, I don't know what
ethnically
what to do with myself. Yeah.
And B-sides. Yeah. We do this every Friday, whether it's anyone's watching or not. Just a good time. Speaking of a good time.
Uh-oh.
Nothing is more important than the simple act of people getting together.
That's great.
We know a remote farm in Lincolnshire where Mrs. Buckley lives. Every July, peas grow there. Do you really mean that?
Yeah, so in other words, I'd start half a second late.
Don't you think you really want to say July over the snow? Isn't that the fun of it?
If you can make it almost when that shot disappears, it'll make my...
I think it's so nice that you see a snow-covered field and say every July peas grow there. We know a remote farm in Lincolnshire where Mrs. Buckley lives. Every July, peas grow there. We aren't even in the fields, you see.
Yeah, we are.
I hate to break it to you,
talking
Amelia,
about
but Babs
growing
was
and
definitely around the first time we did NASA, and she loved it.
And she left.
I don't understand you then. What must be over for July?
When we get out of that snowy field.
When I was out, we were onto a can of peas, a big dish of peas when I said in July.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, always. I'm always past that.
You are?
Yes. Well, that's about where I say in July.
Could you emphasize a bit in July?
Why? That doesn't make any sense. Sorry. There's no known way of saying an English sentence in which you begin a sentence with in and emphasize it. Get me a jury and show me how you can say in July, and I'll go down on you. Idiotic, if you'll forgive me by saying so. That's just...
So you wanted sober Orson Welles, did you? Well, you've got it.
This man made Citizen Kane.
That's why he's not putting up with any bullshit about peas.
I've done my part.
Stupid. In July. I'd love to know how you emphasize in July. Impossible. Meaningless.
I think all they were thinking about was that they didn't want to...
He isn't thinking.
Wilson, can we just do one last...
Yeah?
And it was my fault. I said in July. If you can leave every July...
You didn't say it. He said it. Your friend. Every July?
So
No, you don't really mean every July.
It is.
But that's bad copy. It's in July. Of course it's every July. There's too much directing around here.
This is like the backstage chat.
Amelia, if you pull up a link to something that you want us to show, do it now because we're just trying to shovel bilge at this point. We've already been canceled.
What is a gonk?
So I'm
You
sorry,
mind
how is
telling
this
me what
different
that
from a
is?
normal B-side?
A bang from outside.
Norway. Fish fingers, Findus, Norway. We know a certain fjord in Norway, near where the cod gather in great shoals. There, Jan Stangeland. Shit.
Fraction more on that shoals thing, because you roll it around very nicely.
Yeah, roll it around and I have no more time. You don't know what I'm up against. Because it's full of things that are only correct because they're grammatical, but they're tough on the ear. You see, it's a very wearying one. It's unpleasant to read. Unrewarding.
I just want to point out,
Please,
he made Citizen Kane, and he is taking the same serious approach to fucking peas and fish fingers.
Yeah.
Frozen peas. Yeah.
But it's not unrewarding. He's getting paid for it.
Well, I mean, yes.
Clearly not enough.
And add a crumb crisp coating. Ah, that's tough, crumb crisp coating. I think, no, because of the way it's written, you need to break it up, because it's not as conversationally written. What?
Take crumb out.
Take crumb out. Good. Here under protest is beef burgers. We know a little place in the American far west.
Here under
where
protest
Charlie
is
Briggs
beef
chops
burger.
up the finest prairie-fed beef and tastes. This is a lot of shit, you know that. You want one more?
Yeah,
More on what, beef?
You missed the first beef, actually, completely.
What do you mean missed it?
The AIDS video.
But you can't
Yeah,
emphasize
give me the
beef.
link,
That's like he's
Black
wanting me
and
to
White.
emphasize in before July. Come on, fellas, you're losing your heads. I wouldn't direct any living actor like this in Shakespeare. Well, you do this. It's impossible.
Orson, you did 6 last year, and by far and away the best, and I know the reason.
The right reading for this is the one I'm giving it.
At the moment.
I spent 20 times more for you people than any other commercial I've ever made. You are such pests. Now, what is it you want?
No, I think
in your depths
No one
of
really
your
understands
ignorance, what is
the
it you want?
hardships that Orson Welles has
Whatever
done.
it is you want, I can't deliver because I just don't see it.
that was absolutely fine. It really was.
You isn't worth it. No money is worth it.
And they say that the actors' lives are unrelatable.
They work hard.
I just want to point out that he said that he's done more in you know, this is, I've worked 20 times as hard on this than any other thing. This was before Paul Masson Wines.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Decades before.
Can I imagine him in the bedroom, Amelia? I'm thinking about nothing else.
Yeah, I'm just, you know, I'm 6 to midnight right now thinking about it. So thank you for that mental image.
I love Orson Welles like giving directorial advice to
Gemma,
a guy
it's-
who's doing fucking frozen peas commercials. And
Gemma,
it's
it's in the depths of your ignorance. You've got to emphasize the in.
yeah, the in. You have to begin with the in. I don't know anybody that can say that. I defy. Let us get a jury and let us see if anybody could actually put the emphasis
Look, if you
on
can
in at the beginning of a
emphasize
sentence.
the in, I will go down on you.
I will go down on you. Orson Welles offered to go down on a man if they could show the correct way to emphasize in as the beginning of a sentence.
I'm going to get that on a t-shirt.
Right. and That's a win-win right there.
Exactly.
Nobody loses. Wow.
Don't you have any more agriculture videos?
I've got a bunch of underwater videos that I was going to show with our little aquatic theme tonight, but that went out the fucking window.
I'm always up for fish. You know that.
Right.
Fuck this.
Fine.
This
There
is
you go.
Adam Gray.
Fish, 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 fish.
Settle down. Oh, Phil, I'm so down with Art Bell. You don't even know. Absolutely.
I love Art Bell.
This could be your ship. It
And
could
Phil
be
Hendry.
any ship of the United States Navy.
This could be Barbara
The
Stanwyck's
watch
ship.
is posted, and the ship is secure.
She bought it in surplus.
Behind the familiar bulkheads, at duty stations throughout the ship, even in the wardroom pantry, in officer country, a silent shipmate lurks.
And we have
ever
lamps
willing
in
and
the middle
able
of
to
the
help
room.
you in your work.
Just a second. Just a
But
second.
also ever ready and able to kill.
I would like to respond to Amelia. The 3 words a woman never wants to hear. Yes, it is.
Are you through?
No. Go ahead.
3 words a man never wants to hear. I didn't come.
We don't hear that anyway. We're already asleep.
Oh, okay. 3 words a man never wants to hear. I am late.
Oh, ouch. I can do 4. Do I look fat?
Oh.
Silently, swiftly, very swiftly. Your deadly shipmate is a friend the majority of the time, easing much of your work, lighting the way, and illuminating the darkness for you. Your deadly shipmate is low voltage electricity. Yes, low voltage, not the...
And I just want to point out that 120 volts back then was considered low voltage.
Wow.
It is in most industrial settings.
Not in the lighting world. Low voltage is 12 to 24.
Right.
So,
Again, in actual industrial settings, 480 volts 3-phase is like the basic stuff that you'll run.
which will burn your fucking arm off. And you're
Oh yeah. You don't have to worry about I'm going to be shocked and
warning
holding it.
sign
No,
of
you'll be
danger
shocked
that no
and
one
then
ignores.
appendages will burn off.
Not that kind of electricity.
Yeah, that's like Frankenstein shit.
115 volt current is deadly because it is so familiar. You've known it all your life. It drove your electric train when you were a kid.
It goes in circles.
Gave you light to do your homework by. It showed
That
up
was
the
Mother's
buzz on
little
your
helper.
face First time you tried to shave.
That's 3
Zinc
words.
oxide and you.
But because 115 volt electric current is so familiar, is why it can be so
stick a penny
deadly
in
aboard ship. 115 volt current can kill. The Navy knows it. The Navy is always vigilant to eliminate the fatal hazard of electrical shock. Navy tools and wiring are expertly insulated. All tools are grounded. Plug caps are required on all shipboard electrical outlets.
And we always keep a hammer drill on board.
Wherever electrical gear is used aboard ship, rubber matting is laid down to insulate your footing. You are warned away from exposed electrical installations in short, clear Navy language. And Navy posters dramatically picture the cost of carelessness where electric current is concerned. Carelessness. Ah, there's the key word. Carelessness.
That is the key word.
And carelessness is a guy named Joe.
Oh,
This
poor
Joe will show us
I
typical
am
incidents
Joe's
in
carelessness.
which men are killed by electricity aboard ship. These are not dreamed up. Cases like these actually happened. Joe could be you, sailor. Joe, or Tom, or Willie, his name's not important. The fact that he was careless with 115 volt current is. Joe brushed against the exposed filament of a broken bulb one day. and a telegram was sent. Joe drilled into an electrical conduit on duty one bright afternoon
Why
at sea.
is he drilling that hole?
And his
I like
next of
Joe.
kin were notified.
Joel reminds me of me at work.
We're all Joe.
In the old Navy, decks were scaled by hand. Not long ago, though, a faulty power scaler shorted out. Joe started a job he never finished.
Navy tools, I forgot.
The broken ground wire on a movie projector became another fatal trap. An official notification was sent.
An official notification was sent. They're delicate.
It happens many ways. An unauthorized fan is smuggled aboard, plugged in without the required ground wire, turned on.
Stick your face in it.
Once. Joe, or Tom, or Willie, was the victim of a shipmate's carelessness, too. His shipmate will never forget that he switched on the vent fan that Joe was repairing.
Wow. Joel took a nap.
The notification didn't spell out the cause of Joe's death. It wouldn't have helped. Nor could the fact that a sailor was impatient to get at a piece of toast have comforted his next of kin. Yes, it's a deadly shipmate, this 115-volt stuff. The reason is easy to understand.
You're
Electricity is power put to work for us under conditions we control. But electricity, even low-voltage electricity, gets out of control if we mishandle it or if we forget its potential to kill. Electrical current must travel, therefore,
that's a deep
through a circuit which we know is secure at every point, whether we can see the entire circuit or not.
I got that one.
We must remember that electricity, like any force, will always follow any path it can get through. Also, we must realize that aboard ship, we're surrounded by metal. We walk and sit, and work, and sleep, surrounded by metal. And metal is an efficient conductor of electricity. So if we build ourselves into an open electrical circuit through careless contact, the current uses our body as a conductor and passes into the overhead, the bulkhead, or the deck.
Yeah, that's a so if you talk to any electrician, like if they have a if they have somebody junior on the job, if they're dealing with any voltage at all, they'll basically put one hand in their pocket, because if you grab a live circuit and you're holding something that grounds you, you are then the conductor, and it goes right across your chest, and goodbye heart.
Oh,
Yeah,
he
when
just
I was,
looked- Oh,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
When I was doing electrics and lighting, if you had to tie into a live feed, like if you had to tie into a service feed or a junction box or whatever, you would have a guy next to you with a 2x4, so that
To
he
knock
could-
you off of the circuit if you
so that
lock up on it.
he could hit your arm and break you away from the current, and that's a real thing. Cheer up, everybody.
Because
Yeah,
we're often wet
we
with
had
salt water
I was
or
at a
honest
place where they
sweat.
were rewiring 480, and the apprentice that was on there, the electrician, immediately was like, your left hand in your pocket. If I see it out of your pocket, then you're off the job site. And that kid had to walk around all day with the left hand in his pocket.
Wow.
Yeah, I used to do that shit every day for like 15 years.
Yeah.
Our bodies
Rama
offer
Lama
little
wins.
resistance to the current flow. And when current passes through a vital organ,
Yes, he does.
that's it. There would probably never be an electrical accident if electricity were visible, like water, for instance.
We know Vex's
If you
favorite
reach over
candy
your
bar.
head to prod a weak spot in a cold water line, and the line ruptures at that instant,
When it's in and
the
out
water
of my
flows
mouth.
down your arm,
Yes.
and obeying the
It's
force
the O.
of
Henry
gravity,
regardless.
continues until it reaches the deck.
Oh, look, it's me doing a live stream.
All you are is wet. But if you visualize that flow of water as electricity, and accept the fact that electricity doesn't merely run down along the outside of your body, it passes through, why, you can easily understand how fatal electric shock
What is that
can
guy
occur.
doing?
That's what I'd like to know as well.
He's sticking a crowbar into a leaky pipe. Well done, neighbor.
I think I've called that plumber before.
What did you call him?
I called him fired and get the fuck out of my fucking house.
Numbnuts.
When the body, your body, is a conductor for low voltage current, fatal shock can result. That's the story. Knowing this could be the
Depends what
difference
hole
between
it'll
life
hit.
and death for you. Yet, in spite of the easy to understand facts, the Navy has had the tragic duty of announcing the loss of men because of carelessness with or mishandling of 115-volt current. The deadly
Your son's
shipmate.
name is Joe T. Dorr.
The Navy also regrets paying benefits to the family.
I bet NASA never had incidents like this.
No, no.
No, NASA is non-union.
NASA was like, if you're lucky, we'll get a song and maybe we can use his visage for hat commercials. And
Been prevented.
In the commercials.
Exactly.
Joe's job was routine enough. His assignment was to clean the inside of a steam drum. Quarters were tight and bright illumination was needed.
I don't know what that
Joe
means.
decided he needed a larger
I
bulb.
don't either.
Well, I mean, we have noticed that instead of just stroking one
But the
pussy
bulb was
on
too
stream,
large
you
for the
have
guard.
had more
He
than
made
one.
the fateful decision to
Oh.
leave the guard off.
Oh, that's a beer brand.
This guy's deserves it.
It was hot in there. The
That's,
sweat rolled off
that's a
his body,
Blackstronaut
and
kid
his
right
hands
there.
grew slippery. Yes,
No, he wouldn't have said it was hot. It's
he
cold.
dropped the light.
It's
Yeah, it's
motherfucking
motherfucking cold in here.
The charged filaments were exposed. You know the rest.
It was so hot he took the safety cage off his
A simple
light
act, like bringing in another extension light to double the brightness, and this fatal accident would never have occurred. Joe was installing a sound-powered phone.
drilling, you asshole.
Simple inspection of
The
any
door.
area into which he planned to drill would have prevented this second tragedy.
I'm gonna install a switch for the ceiling fan.
It's standard Navy procedure because it can never be assumed that the other side of a bulkhead is clear. Check it, sailor, and live to answer Liberty Call next time.
You lucky bastard.
Yes, carelessness is a guy named Joe. Sometimes carelessness is just another name for laziness, too. Joe could see the frayed lead to the deck scaler he planned to use. He looked at it, wiggled it, and gambled. The stakes were pretty high.
The cigarette's still there, though. That's a
Yeah.
talented death.
Sure,
But now it's
even
lit.
Navy tools wear out. But the Navy provides repair facilities for such items. Had Joe simply carried the scaler with its worn lead down the ladder to the electrical shop, well, he'd be scaling a deck today, perhaps, and looking forward
Lucky
to his next
Joe.
lead.
I mean, I guess that explains why he decided to commit suicide with that other
This started
scaler.
out to be fun.
I don't have to
Unauthorized
scale
fun,
his
of course,
fucking deck.
but Joe and his buddies were willing to risk it. After all, a private showing of the wild women of Watusiland was
Lesbian
worth some-
initiations.
All right.
I've seen this one.
Adam, you finally know what the proper title
So Joe
for that is.
liberated a movie projector. No,
This is an
Joe
early
wasn't an
Vex
authorized
film.
operator, but he had seen it done.
Why would
a
anyone go
number
to
of
Joel's
times.
cinema night?
This is the student.
Given his track record.
Exactly, yes.
No, Joe wasn't dumb either. When it was noticed that the movie projector's plug was
No, it
broken,
was just his audience
Joe
that was
didn't want
dumb.
to take any chances.
He looks
So
like
he
a
told
bright
his
lad.
buddies to pipe down while he fixed it.
He's a redhead. He has no soul.
Hey.
Only trouble was, Joe was no electrician. No one had ever told him that the green wire was the grounding wire. And no one in the group knew that he'd rewired the green wire in the plug incorrectly.
We got a copy of Lesbian Initiation, and I ain't fucking stopping.
At last, the private screening of The Wild Women of Watusi Land was ready to begin.
This is actually
Joe
what happened
switched
to the
on the
original
projector.
stream tonight.
Wow. Too soon.
There's semen and everything too.
Only trained personnel are authorized to operate a movie projector. Joe wasn't. That was mistake number one. Generally, only trained electricians are conscious of the importance of proper wiring of any piece of electrical equipment. Joe wasn't.
Only
That
The rest
was
of us
his
are
last
unconscious.
mistake.
certified electricians can count 1, 2, 3 on a fucking plug.
Yeah.
Another set of circumstances and events began at the moment this sailor spotted a beat-up electric fan on a salvage dump one day.
Another unauthorized fan.
It's that same goddamn redhead.
There's the toaster too.
Visions of cool breezes in his somewhat stuffy quarters below decks clouded his judgment.
Cool breezes, man.
And hot water.
Not every man
Hot,
is or
sweaty
should be
quarters.
searched as he boards ship. So the fan was easily smuggled aboard, in violation of some pretty clear-cut rules about unauthorized equipment.
No ventilation allowed.
Joe had the perfect spot to put the breeze maker,
Why is
right
he naked
alongside
doing
his
this?
bunk. Of course, the
Who
ungrounded
doesn't do
fan
this?
had a plug with only 2 prongs, and the receptacle was meant for 3.
I mean, it was in the track.
I agree. Bring back the lesbians.
Fatal electric shock is no subject for
Only
humor, of
one
course.
dose of attack
But
lesbians
Joe
per
is
night.
beyond
I
wanting
say
a
that
cool
every
breeze.
single week, and they
And
never listen to me either.
115-volt electric
This is the
current,
this man is the reason we have do not insert
has
rectally
claimed
tags on
another
ladders.
victim.
Eternal use only.
The tragedy began here, was made possible at the gangway, and made a certainty when this man failed to realize that the third opening in the receptacle was designed to receive the grounding prong of authorized Navy electrical equipment.
The bonus hole, you
Don't let
might
it
call
happen
it.
to you.
Bonus receptacle.
Perfect for semen.
Yes.
Perhaps even more tragic.
Look, we already
is
have
the careless
more
act that
establishing
causes the
shots
death of a
than torture
shipmate.
ships.
Here's what happened not too long
This is
ago.
Barbara Stanwyck's
aboard a
destroyer that she
on
bought
routine
surplus.
patrol.
Oh, that's right.
A set of bearings
We
on the
should watch
vent
that again.
leading to cruise quarters needed replacement. Joe took the work order
Look,
and carefully cut the
after,
juice at a
after
motor
October
controller.
and
so that
Halloween
he
is
could
over,
work
we
on
can
the
go
vent.
back to our casual
He
race
tagged it as
and
required and felt
Okay.
perfectly safe as he
It's a
crossed
theme
from
month.
starboard to
I have
port
no
to
choice.
begin his routine tasks.
Horror. The horror.
Below decks, the off-watch immediately noticed that the cooling vent had stopped pumping air into the warm living compartment.
Got a fan?
At times like this,
Hot,
there's
sweaty
always
Bought
sailors.
into the
volunteers.
cool
You probably
living
know.
compartment.
So this sailor offered to go topside and check the motor control that
You know, I
operated
often
the fan.
offer to go topside.
Sure, lots of yeomen know all about motor
Does
control.
anyone take you up on it?
Yo, man, I'll
At
go
the moment he
topside.
energized the line,
Did that not
he
sound
either
rude? It
volunteered,
sounded
spotted
rude, but
the
it
ball and
didn't sound
tag.
rude both at
A
once.
moment too late. Sure, you might say Joe's carelessness in not securing the tag properly in place was to blame.
I am Joe's stupidity.
It could be Joe's lack of soul.
You might say the sailor who operated equipment not within his authority.
Why do they
should
keep
be
having the
blamed.
redhead fucking shit
Say
up?
they both feel bad, but Joe is beyond any
I
feeling.
feel represented.
Diversity.
It can happen anywhere on the ship,
Redheads
like
and
it happened
you.
to Joe or Tom or Willie. The name or the place isn't important. The scene is a wardroom pantry. Joe
Steal the
hankers after a
captain's
midnight
Pop-Tarts.
snack, and there's no one around to remind him that he's about to commit an unauthorized act.
A jelly donut?
You unthinking
Toasters do jam sometimes. This one did. A fork can be used to fish out the elusive slice of toast. This one was. Metal toaster, metal countertop,
But he has
metal
been
fork,
approved to fire a 50
all
millimeter
metal,
cannon.
plus 115
Yeah.
volts of electrical current. The deadly shipmate.
He eventually was the one that
Yes,
blew up the gun on the
electricity
Missouri.
is a friend, ashore and afloat.
Yeah,
High
Captain
voltage
America,
lines
this guy.
supply the big jobs that man has harnessed electricity for,
Those outside the bedroom.
while low voltage is channeled into our homes and ships, or generated afloat. It's a force we've lived with and depended upon since childhood,
It
and
still
grown
goes in
all too
circles.
familiar with. We know its nature and respect its
This is a
strength.
callback.
We know it can kill. We're protected against its dangers by a Navy which uses every possible means to alert us.
Jesus, if I had $1 for every
We
time I
use
had
the
to pull a
115
broken
volts
bulb
in
out
our
of a
familiar
fucking
circuits
live
in
circuit,
countless
please.
ways and find our work easier, our comfort certain as a result. Still, the Joes and Toms and Willies with whom we put to sea fail somehow through carelessness, through disinterest, through simple lack of respect to live the number of years they're entitled to.
Perhaps we
So
should
you
stop
do two
recruiting
things.
Joes, Toms, and Willies.
You obey the rules made for your safety.
Good luck.
And you constantly accept responsibility for the safety of your shipmates. That's the entire story of 115 volts.
Oh my
The
God.
deadly shipmate.
I think this is actually a commentary on the failure of our.
Oh, Jay's going robot.
I have watched Navy training videos for guys who are like the junior butt munch, who are machinists involved with like the fire control systems for battleships in World War II. That shit, the basic, the assumption of understanding for people that they have drafted in and are basically here, you go help with this thing. The understanding of trigonometry and basic mechanics and all that stuff is far beyond what I would expect any graduate today to understand. And in the 20 years from the how to actually set up the Mark II targeting computer and how to make the camshafts for this and how to actually run the calculations to deal with this versus I can't even manage a fucking toaster without electrocuting myself. This says a little something about our educational system.
It's totally true, and that's how sadly how the Western world gets built. Because I used to be friends with a guy that for years he built nuclear testing equipment, like actual radioactive like sensing equipment, and he quit to work at Outback Steakhouse for more money.
Yeah.
He was flipping steaks for more money than he was building testing equipment for nuclear reactors.
Well, the interesting thing, so of the GPS satellites, the atomic clocks that are actually inside of those are built by one man. I believe he's German. And they talked to Raytheon and all kinds of stuff, trying to get something that was small enough that could be accurate enough for the GPS clocks or whatever. The only guy that was still alive that seemed to be capable of doing it and actually provided working samples was this old guy in Germany who built them and put them together. I don't know that if those satellites start falling out of the sky, if anybody can actually replace those timekeeping devices in them.
You couldn't do worse than Elon Musk.
Well, hey,
wow. That was
having met Elon, you're right. No, it would take work to find somebody. Well, although I mean, Elon never actually tries to convince people. He's actually the one that's doing it. He just thinks that he has a genius idea and that he can get the correct people around him to do it.
Yeah, well, I can take over any company that's even vaguely successful in their startup and claim
I'm a founder.
Yeah.
Well, he also claimed that he knew more than anybody else about manufacturing. How'd that work out for you?
Yeah,
I mean, he made those not a flamethrowers.
Yeah, oh yes, and the Boring Company.
Yeah,
which I believe made like one hole. And...
Well, that's true advertising right there.
Yes.
Oh my God! Happy Halloween, everyone. We're doing great.
Yeah, at least he's reverted back to form. When I met him in '97 and debated with him about
about what?
We lost Jay again. His connection's been cutting out.
Oh, all right. Let's watch the AIDS video, or we can have a night.
Somebody send me the link. I don't know what they're talking about because I don't remember showing an AIDS video. We've got lots of VD videos.
All right, let's check out a VD video then.
One moment, please.
Yeah, the military really brought us down. I was really expecting, more force with lesbians or a little more gory death or more naked people. And instead, we just got one redhead with 9 lives, apparently, getting shot over and over again.
Needed more Bob Dylan with a pipe.
I was young and I needed the money. All right.
I just want to point out that my internet provider is named Cox, and they're appropriately named.
Oh, that's hot. You're getting cocked right now, then.
Oh yeah. They definitely they're all about the cocks.
Is it big black cocks?
No.
We saw that last week, didn't we? With the dick down with my dick hardening.
Yeah.
Phil Philly says PSA on AIDS.
Ooh.
I don't know if that's the title of a video though.
No, we've seen a PSA on DDT. Not Diamond Dallas Page and his particular wrestling move.
We saw one with spectacular acting.
We saw one on a young girl who was convinced by her friend to go brown instead of white.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was great. That was a really good one.
Bill, I don't know what video you're talking about. Give me a link. And we'll show it.
We can always go back to the shoes. We can always go back to Barbara's shoes.
Yeah,
I mean, that is.
Barbara getting convinced by her friend to go brown.
Mother, I don't want brown shoes. I want white shoes like Sally.
Amelia's making a protest.
and then Sally shows up and is like, no, you want brown. Brown is you need to be down with brown. Yeah, I want brown. Okay. Yeah.
No, nobody wants brown.
We got the spectacular acting in. There was the wonderful acting range in the one about where to hide your drugs at home. That was quite good from about a week ago.
All right, let me scrounge around on the hard.
You've got some stuff in that folder. You know what you've got.
Not stuff I can show on YouTube. Apparently. Jesus.
Have you considered going back to your bathroom to see if you can find anything? I mean, all right. I hate to succumb to this, but we did show Vex attack lesbians. We might as well show her the dangers of homosexuals.
Huh?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh yeah.
You dare bring that up again? The amount of crap that I took for showing.
Now, look, it's not for me. I told you. Sid Davis can fuck off in a variety of ways, as can the Inglewood Police Department. But because Vex has lacked this educational content, this may be a thing we have to do. I mean, it's either that or the Disney revelation about menstruation.
We have the
I did like that one. That was good.
We have the exploding whale.
Oh, the exploding whale.
Vex, do you know the exploding whale?
I don't know. I'm kind of partial to the menstruation.
You would be.
Oh,
God. I mean,
I know
the
nothing
exploding
about-
whale is really like a preview of Ahsoka.
Oh God.
Yeah, but Disney's magical world of menstruation. Is
Yeah,
pretty-
Disney's magical world, the wonderful world of menstruation is pretty compelling.
All right, fine. I found it.
Okay. All
Yay.
right.
Settling
I thought
kids.
you guys were my friends.
Look, nobody can argue with Vex's ovaries. The estrogen is just too strong with this one.
Especially after being pinned down by so many lesbians.
Yeah. After the young Deb got they drew straws and she got hers.
I'd rather watch.
Now she's
that
all about the
again.
scissoring.
Oh my goodness. I'm so confused. Do I divorce my husband and commit myself to a life of
No, you live a secret life because they told you it was fine. That many
yeah,
lesbians still try to lead normal heterosexual lives as a front.
Yeah, you should get trapped in a seedy upstairs apartment by a bunch of dykes and
Attack dykes. They have to be attack dykes.
Okay, led by Bob Dylan though.
Yep.
Yes.
Specifically. Okay, gotcha.
He had great tits.
Who have the
Bob Dylan does have
swastika.
great tits. Yeah.
All right,
I saw Bob Dylan live about 6 or 7 years ago, and could not understand a single word he sang for the entire night.
How are his tits?
That's what you pay for.
My friend turned to me about halfway through the show and he said, just imagine it's a French group. And then it all made perfect sense. When you stopped trying to work out the language and just enjoyed the actual sound that they were making, it was so much better. That's the way to watch modern Bob Dylan.
That was always the way to listen to Bob Dylan.
You watch him.
Well, it used to be that he could say words and you didn't know what those words meant. Here we are. Story of menstruation.
It's a drink.
Same.
Kotex.
Why is nature always called Mother Nature? Perhaps it's because, like any mother, she quietly manages so much of our living without our ever realizing there's a woman at work.
Yeah, bloody
Why,
girl
right
boss.
From the beginning, we breathe and sleep and wake up with no more conscious planning than we used in sprouting teeth. Mother Nature controls many of our routine bodily processes through automatic control centers called glands. The story of menstruation really begins with one particular gland. It's located here at the base of the brain, and it's called the pituitary gland. In our childhood years, this pituitary gland concentrates on producing growth hormones, busy little messengers which circulate through the bloodstream. They order the various bones and tissues to get growing. And as a girl grows up from blocks to dolls to books, that means her body is obeying the orders issued by the pituitary gland. Of course, these orders vary among different girls. Some girls grow short, some tall, some heavy, and some slight. But there
all
comes
of
a
them white.
time somewhere between the ages of
Some
11
brown.
and
Just
17,
kidding.
though about 13 is average, when the pituitary must turn part of its attention to maturing the body which it has grown. So it starts sending out a new type of hormone, a
You guys,
maturing
I'm so
hormone.
sorry. I thought this was going to be
And
a
that's
great
when
Halloween
menstruation
stream.
begins. When these maturing hormones start coming down through the bloodstream
Here we are.
to the ovaries.
Watching the ovaries.
The ovaries themselves are glands
The true horror.
about the size of almonds. And
This is
locked
body
within
horror.
each ovary are thousands of eggs.
Body
This is like
horror?
Cronenberg did it.
Although these eggs are too small to be seen by the human eye, Any one of them has the possibility of
Look, Vex,
someday
it's all of your
becoming a
eggs
human
that have
being.
hatched and released facehuggers.
Near the ovaries
Why
are
do
the
they look like
fallopian
they're
tubes,
rotting though?
short canals which lead to the
Vex,
uterus
do you have
or
any
womb.
trivia on this?
This
Or...
hollow, pear-shaped
On
organ
ovaries?
opens into the vagina,
You must have some
which
ovary
is part
stories.
of the birth
Well,
canal,
I don't have any.
and is the external
I don't
opening
think
for
I
this
have any
whole group
I've
of
got some
organs.
vagina stories.
So, as you see,
Why does it
there
look
is a
like the
continuous
goat
passage from
mark
each
of the
ovary
devil?
through
Why
the
is
It's not. It's the
fallopian
Texas
tubes,
Longhorns.
uterus, and vagina
Because women
to
are
the
the
outside
devil.
of the body.
That's what Bobby Boucher's mom said.
These
right?
organs
Remember?
function in a
That's true.
continuous cycle. The pituitary gland starts the process when it sends its maturing hormones down through the bloodstream to the ovaries.
I
Okay.
am Amelia.
Now one of the
I am.
ovaries passes on an order of its own to the uterus. It tells the cells which make up the lining of the uterus to multiply and fill themselves with watery fluids and blood.
Ugh.
This begins to build up a thickened lining of somewhat
Why are you
velvety
saying ooh?
material.
This is you, not me.
At the same time,
But
an
why do
ovary
they have
has
to
been
say like
maturing
a
an
thick
ovum or
liquidy
egg,
lining?
which is
Ugh.
magnified here so that we can see it. About once a month, one of these tiny eggs passes out
Vex,
of
are
the
you one of
ovary
those
and
people
finds
that has
its
an
way
aversion to the
into a
word moist?
fallopian tube.
I was just thinking
where it
that
moves
too.
along toward the uterus.
I was just
I'm
about to
fine.
ask you
The
that
egg
same
is
thing.
impregnated, which happens when a woman is going to have a child.
I actually have a friend that
The
has
egg
an
will
aversion
stay
to the word
within
moist.
uterus. Then the thickened lining will provide nourishment for the budding human being.
Which I
through
got to
the
show you
early
does
days
not
of its
mean that I
development.
constantly use that term whenever I'm
However,
around him.
No,
most
obviously.
eggs pass
No.
through the
I
fallopian
would
tubes
never do
without
anything
being
There are
like that.
very
fertilized.
few men who have an
When
aversion
this
to that
happens, there's
word.
no use for that potential nourishment in the
Well,
built-up
Lambert
lining
is
of the
gay,
uterus.
so
How would you
know.
describe an
And
otter's
so in a
coat, for
few
example?
days, it passes from the
Shiny.
body.
Moist.
This is the flow which we call menstruation.
Mildly moist.
If I'm around
So, as
Lambert,
we see
everything
now,
I would describe as
menstruation
moist.
is just one routine
Insulated?
step in a normal and natural cycle that is going on continuously within the body.
Ugh, this is making me uncomfortable.
The
Ugh.
time between
Ugh.
periods is usually about 28 days.
I'm
However,
making
it
notes.
may be shorter for some girls,
Well,
longer
This
for
is
others.
your
had to-
choice. I
The
just want to
flow
point
itself
this
may
out.
last
You wanted to
anywhere
see the
from 3
Disney
days to
menstruation.
7. Yet
We
each
gave you
of these
options.
different schedules may be normal.
This
For just
animation
as
is
the
very
pituitary gland
uncomfortable.
orders some girls to grow short,
Every
Is
There
it
we
like
go.
some
cramps?
tall, some
Are you having
heavy,
cramps,
and some
Vex?
slight,
A little bit.
so
a
its
little bit.
orders
Okay,
about
alright.
menstruation may differ widely among normal women. The important thing is that you should be fairly regular within yourself.
Your skin
Of course,
also
a
might
girl
turn
may be
orange.
irregular during the first year or so,
And have a
but
cat on your
after
head.
that, when her system is settled down into a routine, her period should always be about the same number of days apart and last about the same
Yes,
length of
Gemma,
time.
and it involves Henry Cavill.
Try not to throw yourself off schedule
And the
by
time
getting
is any.
overtired, emotionally upset, or catching cold. And if your timing goes seriously
Weirdly enough,
wrong
the
or
StreamYard
you're
account
bothered with
resets
severe
itself every
cramps or
28 days.
headaches, you should have a talk with your doctor.
StreamYard
Of
menstruates?
course, you'll want to keep a personal calendar.
It does on me.
Mark the first day of each
May explain
period
this stream.
and check to see that there are about the same number of days between periods. It's not only a useful record of past performance, but it comes in handy when you have to plan ahead.
Vex, do you have your menstrual calendar
This
on you at this
calendar
time?
appears in an interesting
Yes,
booklet
it's
called
laminated as
Very
well.
Personally
Okay,
Yours.
I just wanted to make sure.
This booklet has been prepared to enlarge
Very
upon what
wise.
you learn from this
Making it
brief
splash
film.
proof.
Well, she
Among
laminates
other
it because
things,
she actually uses
the
her menstrual
booklet
blood to walk
explodes
out.
that
Watch
old
the,
taboo
the
against
days.
bathing during your period.
Liar, you're young.
Not
It's on
only
your
can you
phone.
bathe, you should bathe. Because during menstruation, your perspiration glands are working overtime. Just be careful to avoid either very hot water
Black
or very cold
lives.
water. In fact, it's not a good idea at any time to shock your system with extremes, any more than to let
No
yourself get chilled or to catch cold.
I thought Brown was a member
And
of
as for the
KLF,
old
not Limp
taboo
Bizkit.
against exercise, that's nonsense. Exercise is good for you during menstruation.
Uh-huh.
Just use common sense.
Oh.
Hello.
When you
Yes,
come
common
to
sense
think
would
of
tell
it,
you this is not how you
most
ride a
of your
horse.
daily routine
Yeah,
is
that's
on
how
the
you ride a
mild
dick.
side.
Yeah.
It's going to extremes that's wrong.
It's not like just
If the
sitting
horse
up
is
in
named
bed
Henry
and
Cavill,
naked.
perhaps that's how you ride. Jesus!
Exactly.
To most girls,
She's
the
also an
menstrual
X-Man
period
because she
should
was
bring
able to
no
pick up that
severe
with one hand and it
discomfort.
dropped through the floor.
Some girls have a little less pep, a feeling of pressure in the lower part
I want you
of
to
the
pay
body,
particular attention to
perhaps
this,
an
Vex.
occasional twinge or a touch of nerves.
Or
But
agonizing
don't let it
pain.
get you down. After all, no matter how you feel, you have
What
to
are you
live
trying to
with
say,
people.
Jay?
You have to
What are
live
you
with
trying to
yourself,
say?
too.
Well, I'm trying to
And
say what it
once
said
you
before.
stop
Don't
feeling
dramatize
sorry
yourself.
for yourself and take those days in your stride, you'll find it's easier to keep smiling and even-tempered. You can do
A look
practically
into the
everything you
phase of
normally
Vex's
do.
life.
If you just smile on your period, you can dance with Donald Trump.
Oh, come now. We said practically everything. Provided you take
I thought that's Richie
common
Cunningham.
sense
That's
care of
Richie
yourself.
Cunningham, isn't it?
I don't
Definitely.
remember him being that
Exercises to
orange.
relieve cramps are illustrated in the booklet.
Wait, Amelia,
Try
is that
them.
true?
With the guidance of a
Yeah, if
qualified
you want to pause
person,
it for a second.
you may find they help.
Hang on. Hang on.
And
Wait a
Yeah,
minute.
you can't it can't penetrate that. Like they're not meant to penetrate that deeply, but you can lose your virginity riding a horse.
Yeah, you can break
Oh,
your
yeah.
hymen. You can break your hymen riding a horse or riding a bicycle if you're on a
Yep.
particularly rough area.
I mean, not that I haven't done the research, but I thought the hymen was a little more forward than that.
What do you mean more forward?
Closer to the opening.
Oh, it is pretty close, but it's not like so close that because tampons aren't that long, in all honesty. So it's not meant to go that deep.
I always imagined they look like a French baguette. I've never really looked at them in any real detail.
It's like a short. It's like an Italian roll. You know how
Oh,
yeah, there you
okay.
go.
It's more of a breadstick.
Yeah, but it's very short. It's not long at all. It just the casing and the packaging gives it the illusion of being long.
Very short, like 12 inches.
Yeah, 12 and a half. 12 and a half.
No, Amelia said anything more than 7 was a waste.
Right.
This show is educational, if nothing else. Wow. Okay.
We have a lot. We have a lot of cobbled streets in the UK. Perfect for riding a bike down.
And very few virgins.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's some instances where women have had even sex and then the hymen hasn't broken, and I mean that's probably just more due to small dick fellas than anything. But
Well,
that,
oh my God, I feel represented.
I apologize. The illustrations in the books that I was
No, it's
shown-
fine. You're still a virgin, I assure you. No, it's all good. No.
Holy shit. All right. Well, no, maybe I believe you.
do something about that slouch. Slumpy posture is just as bad
Pick it up,
inside
girls.
as it looks outside.
Smile
So
more.
stand up straight and let the organs function from the position that nature intended. One way to help them function normally is to avoid constipation. You see, your reproductive organs lie between
That's
the
not where the
rectum
poop
and the
comes out.
bladder.
That's a coffee
and their
bean.
external
Oh no, it's
openings.
golf clubs.
And constipation will disturb the relationship
This looks
between
suspiciously
these
like
organs.
DSS's drawing of the
So you'll
gooch.
find it worth your while to drink plenty of water, eat plenty of fruit, and to include cereals and eggs and leafy vegetables in your daily diet.
Amelia, send me the link.
And incidentally,
We'll
it's
show it.
smart to keep looking smart. That well-groomed feeling will give you new poise and lift
I feel
your
we've all been
morale,
well groomed tonight.
especially when it's backed up with
Especially Vex.
year-round fresh air and sunshine.
Just pretend you don't
and
feel like
plenty of
hell.
rest and sleep. Because the
That's
best
how I get through every
possible
day.
insurance against trouble on those days
I can't bother
is
anymore.
healthy living every day. And that's the story. There's nothing strange nor mysterious about menstruation.
Yeah,
All
Vex.
life is built on cycles.
Nah, there's a lot
And the
strange with
menstrual
menstruation.
cycle
I disagree.
is one normal and natural part of nature's eternal plan.
I can't believe
for
you're
passing
arguing
on
with the
the
Disney
gift
company and
of
Kotex.
life.
Typical Disney. Not a single man in that entire film.
It's true. And also sexualizing children by putting lipstick on babies.
Yeah. Oh, that had everything.
You
Oh,
guys,
that's all on you. You insisted on seeing that.
you guys, I'm dying over here. Any more requests?
Me, I'm over here. I'm dying over here.
You need to just smile and stop slouching. and
Yeah,
get
stop
through it.
slouching
Ride a horse.
so your reproductive organs can get in line.
Jesus Christ!
Don't call me that in front of everybody else. They get jealous.
Let's see if I can find the TED Talk on hymens.
No, we
I
can't
think
show
Amelia-
that.
Oh, there's
Amelia
no way
may
in
have
hell we're
just
showing
provided
that.
it.
Yeah.
That's got to be copyrighted.
TED Talks, really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a real.
Yeah, they
corporation.
monetize the living shit out of those.
Dang, that's unfortunate.
But Amelia provided the link.
On the TED Talk.
Yeah.
Oh no, no, we've already been canceled once.
Okay,
Mm,
what about the AIDS video? Or you don't know?
Yeah.
I do. I
Who
do
brought
want to
that
just.
up?
I do want to just for a moment raise some concerns with Amelia. If your hymen hasn't been broken, I don't know who you've actually been having sex with. But I
Call me.
apologize on behalf of all mankind that's who you've been with.
I'll try harder next time.
She didn't say it hadn't been. She just said that you could not. And awkward. So
she's giving us nothing in return. She's telling us
Um,
nothing more.
I mean, I have a random Onion video that I watched some time ago that I can share with you. Hold on.
Really?
that sounds copyrighted.
Consider me
Oh.
intrigued.
The Onion. I presume it's the Onion about Halloween and how people aren't actually giving it the proper respect. that it
Not
should be.
quite, but it could be scary. It could be scary.
That I knew, Amelia. That I knew.
Be
Yes,
in the
that's true.
shower for easier cleanup. She had sex with Ruin. His dick was so small they shipped him off to Iraq for commuting a sex crime.
What is happening to this?
Well, I mean, that's true. Yeah. Ruin has been in a facility in Iraq. We've seen the video on
Yep.
Brown Stream.
Crimes against singing.
All right,
Mhm.
let's try something different.
Amongst any other things.
Pick a
No,
topic.
there is actually on your spare time. You can't. I'm damn sure that we can't show it because YouTube has already smacked us in the pee-pee very hard. But there is an Onion video where it's like a news panel discussing Halloween and how people these days just don't respect the traditions, and they're basically treating it the same way that Christmas is, right? Where people go, well, they just talk about Santa Claus, and they don't talk about Christ or whatever, except that it's Halloween, so they don't talk about the burning of the sacrificial victim, that Samhain is no longer respected and all that. And in the middle of them talking about it, actually there's like this spirit that shows up and everything goes to hell on set. For them, it's pretty damn funny.
Sounds like Terror at 37,000 feet. I've seen that movie.
No, this one's only about 5 minutes, so luckily it's much shorter.
Vex, the link that you just sent in the private chat, is that the TED Talk?
No, that's an Onion video that I
Oh,
randomly sent. Yeah,
I'm gun shy. I'm sorry.
that's fine. You said pick a topic. What are
Yeah,
the choices?
Yes, pick a topic, and I will find something that I would imagine is public.
Okay, what are the homosexuality video that was mentioned as well?
Oh God, thanks,
Okay,
Jay.
the dangers of homosexuality.
Yeah.
I just want to point out, I am sacrificing myself for this because Adam
You're a
has
homosexual?
tried to show this to us multiple times. I have thrown a fit about
It's
it
an
because,
important lesson for everyone to understand.
but it is, yes, and given Vex's clear lack of education, I blame the Canadian educational system on the topic of lesbianism, the actual history of the space program, menstruation. Apparently, I think that she does need to be educated in the dangers of homosexuality.
Even the chat doesn't want to watch this. I mean, Amelia represents at least a quarter of the chat at this point. So
Yeah, there's a full 3 people in the chat.
No,
Thanks
Amelia,
for
come on. Vagina power here. Let's learn about the dangers of.
Oh, she's seen it. She has seen it.
That's why she doesn't want to watch it twice.
Yes.
Oh, but now that makes me want to watch it even more.
Yeah, I've got it. Hang on.
Bye, R2.
Oh, thanks for coming by, R2.
Droid
Sorry,
representation.
sorry
Hey,
about
Blue.
our shambles here. And if you want to come on the show, let me know. Email me at the B-roll link.
Is it legal to have 2 Kansas on the same stream? I mean, I guess it's happened in Stupenzo's stream, so okay.
Don't know.
Don't know.
See, I just deleted all of this shit that we've already watched today. I literally just deleted all of our earlier ones.
Well, there's something to be said for that.
I tried.
Well, the other thing is we just fill time by tormenting Vex.
Yeah, we've never done that before.
No,
I'm
that's
not
never happened.
feeling particularly tormented. Again, I just feel sexually confused. That's
Whoa, whoa. Is that a challenge?
Well, achievement unlocked.
Is that a challenge? Because I will torment you, Vex.
challenge accepted.
All right. Well, it's going to take us another 3 years to get you on the show, but I will store up some nasty ammunition.
It's time to get your A game ready.
That's what we do here. Okay. What is it? Homos?
Vex, what is the absolute worst? Ignoring what you've just seen on this stream. What is the absolute worst movie that you've had to cover on a stream?
Velma.
The worst movie. I'm just trying to think. The worst movie I've had to cover on a stream.
Well, which one made you the most angry?
And you can't say Snyder. You can't say Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder's off. No, that's an easy out.
What have I covered on stream? Hold on, I need to look at the calendar now.
She has a calendar.
That's her menstruation calendar. Don't look at that.
Yeah, exactly. Not that one. No,
It's going to teach you nothing.
No.
Worst movie to cover.
I mean, I think that's a lot of that on her part is just psychological. Blocking it off.
I wouldn't
to
even
save
limit
her
it to
sanity.
on stream because Vex has got a bunch of angry videos, and they're entertaining as fuck. But
Oh, then I'd say Barbie.
really,
Really?
yeah, you were pretty harsh on Barbie. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying
I
you,
get it,
you hated that shit.
I think that is the only movie I've ever seen that I genuinely hate. Like I genuinely hate the Barbie movie.
Just the messaging behind it.
It's just a mass. It's a movie that's meant to manipulate and nothing more. It tries to
Agreed.
it tries to get a message across by giving you a pretty set and everything, but all that is just kind of a front to brainwash you, I guess, a little bit into buying this really horrible message about women. And quite frankly, the fact that so many women were on board with it is very disappointing.
Blindly on
Well,
board with it.
okay. Given that, maybe it's actually true. Maybe there should be a horrible message about women because so many women actually enjoyed this movie.
Many of them menstruate.
Many
That's
of them
true.
do, yeah. Barbie even menstruates by the end of the Barbie movie.
That's her big win. And
Yeah.
she gets to go to the OBGYN. And let me just say for the record, having raised 2 daughters and being married for a good long time, no woman wants to go to the OBGYN. But somehow Barbie is dumb enough to go, oh, this is a win.
Yeah, my anger at the Barbie movie, which I will never watch, was the deception between the marketing and the product. That is what really fucking bothered me, was that they advertised it as a happy-go-lucky candy colored fucking shit show and whatever, and then they shove.
Well, to be fair, it was a candy colored shit show.
They kind of implied that there were going to be some sort of clever little film parodies and things, little a sprinkling of nerd stuff amongst the the saccharine sweetness of Barbie, and I get the impression that's clearly not what they gave us.
No. It starts off that way, I would say, for the first 20 minutes when they're in Barbie Land, but even then it's like there's so many inklings of messaging and what they're trying to get across to the general audience and the underlying themes that you quickly lose that sense of just fun, colorful, innocent fanfare. So
Do you think though? Just a quick, a point. Just do you think that maybe you're giving too much credit to an audience here? Because an awful lot of the people I saw going to see this film were clearly going to see it because it was the thing to do with your friends, and if you didn't do it, you weren't going to be able to talk in the playground, or you weren't going to be able to talk at the water cooler at work.
It was quite a water cooler moment.
It was just that seemed to me like. I don't even think half the people that were watching it were there for the film itself. It was there to have a couple of Proseccos and enjoy it with your friends, or to be part of the tribe that were going to be watching it at school. I didn't really get the impression that anyone was coming away with a real deep sort of message at the end of it. That's just from my casual observance when I'm watching while I'm there watching Otterheimer in the next screen, and I'm watching the people going in and out to see Barbie.
I know, I agree with you. It definitely was like it was the thing to do over the summer, right? And it was like also hyped up with the whole "what are you going to see, Barbie or Oppenheimer" kind of thing, right? So I don't disagree with you there, but I think there's been enough people that went to go see it multiple times because they enjoyed it, or went to go see it because they like Barbie and they like Greta Gerwig and all that stuff. And I would say she's a competent filmmaker as well, which works to her advantage. But it's a mix of both things. But I think with Greta Gerwig, she's trying to get something across both intentionally and unintentionally. And I think she understood what this movie was going to be when it started getting a little bit more hype around it and the marketing started to get pushed out. So it feels like you're duping an audience.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%.
You're taking advantage of the fact that, this is a summer event and you're pushing this really modern woman, just kind of fuck femininity, fuck traditionalism kind of message on people as well. And then what makes it even worse is you dress it up so it looks really nice, and then you kind of honestly, I kind of walked out of that hating my own gender because I didn't particularly feel like I was being uplifted in any way, even though I was the target audience for the film.
To be fair, you weren't the target audience, right? But the target audience is like modern feminists, which you're not a part of, right? The intersectional gender feminism kind of thing.
Vex isn't the critical. Vex isn't the target audience because she's a critical thinker. The target audience was men to the left, women to the right because of Barbenheimer.
It was your everyday woman. It's the people that just don't really have a second thought. They go 9 to 5 and then they just veg out in front of Netflix and they just consume. That was the target audience. If they had a vagina, then that was even more perfect, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, the target audience.
So I think there's a presumption that we often make, and I think it gives too much credit to Hollywood and to messaging, right? And it kind of plays into the elitist mindset that dominates current culture right now. Fuck you and Sid Davis. The idea that if we just put out a message, the schlubs swallow it and then robotically follow it, right? That in my experience is not what happens. Now, if on the other hand, what you're talking about is preteens and teen girls, it would be much more effective as kind of a propaganda piece, as the way to be, especially if you're couching it in with Barbie as the outer coat of what the pill actually is. But I think that many times if that messaging was so effective, all men would be gay because that's what's pushed on us, right? And all women would be angry lesbians or at least feminists who are 40 something and drinking wine because they can't get laid, right? And there's a vast swath of people that watch these movies and either filter the bullshit
Mhm.
or it just doesn't impact them because they're like, that's against what I believe, but whatever, right? They shrug their shoulders and move on because most of culture that they are subjected to is it has at least some messaging that
Mhm.
they disagree with, and they don't submit to it, but they also don't grab their pitchforks and go storming, the barricades
They just
over
let
it.
it be. They just
Well, yeah, it's the vast majority of people are looking to live and let live, right? They're not looking for confrontation.
True.
They don't want to get into it. It's if you leave me alone, I'll leave you alone, and I can overlook a lot of things, right? It's the reason that I can work with people who have diametrically opposite political views to me, but as long as they don't decide to go totally blue-haired and screaming and reeing at me, I'm not going to get into it with them because I just know we disagree on this thing. We
Mhm.
might joke, back and forth a bit about little things, kind of skirmishing along the edges, right? But that's the extent of it. And if you, the rest of your life kind of, runs um, in compatibility with how I run my life, I'm good
Mhm.
with it, right? And so I think that we often imbue Hollywood and these cultural warriors with far too much power, and hilariously they imbue themselves with that kind of power and then wonder why the hell their shit movies fail because
Yeah,
they
just
believe
on the
that
back
they
of that.
should be able to message it, and if we just send the message to the masses they swallow it and then believe us. And it's why Kathleen Kennedy looks around confused going, what the fuck, why wasn't this successful?
And on the back of that, I mean, the last big successful film for women was probably one of the 50 Shades movies, which has a very different message in it, and again, a massive event film, which an awful lot of women went to go see, despite the quality of the film being pretty damn poor. I don't know. It just seems to me that while there is an obviously pretty crappy message in the Barbie film, I'd be very surprised as to how many of them actually came away thinking about it afterwards.
Yeah, my oldest
But I don't
example.
disagree with you, Vex. I think that's totally. I think the fact that it is there and the fact that it is doing that thing in a big blockbuster movie coming out of summer is an absolute crime against culture, against society in its own way. I do completely get what you're saying on that front. I think you're absolutely right. I can understand why you would hate this movie as much as you
Well,
do.
and I think absolutely, especially
hang
if
on,
you look
hang on,
at
guys. Hang on,
younger
hang on.
people who are not, have the critical thinking and have established who they are, right? Don't have that self-esteem
Mhm.
to look at it and go, whatever, I'll blow that off, right?
Hang on a second. I want to hear Vex's reaction to what you guys have been saying,
Yeah,
and I also
absolutely.
want to hear Vex, what in your opinion, what was the last good portrayal of realistic feminism?
I mean, I don't disagree with you on, I guess, giving too much credence to like these writers and studios, but at the same time, they are the ones that are influencing, not influencing. I mean, it's two-way street, right? Like culture and entertainment. So they're kind of
Yeah.
interdependent on things that are happening in the time. For like women that don't see through the message or just don't understand it, I think the bigger problem is that you're going into the entire point of most movie experiences, I mean, save for maybe historical films or biographical films, is to put yourself in a space of immersion, right? Where you can escape from the
Yes.
realities of the real
Yes.
world. And instead, if I'm going to go see a movie about a fucking Barbie doll, I want to go and watch a movie about a Barbie doll. That's it, right? Because as a little girl, you grow up with these Barbie dolls and you make up your own stories with it. There's no like insidious messaging, or there's no purpose behind it. It's just you indulging these kind of wild fantasies that you have for yourself or what this character might be doing, and it's just fun, it's enjoyable.
Yep.
But instead, I'm sitting there throughout almost a 2-hour movie, and I'm seeing messages that are telling me that motherhood is bad, that having children doesn't bring you any joy, that in order to be a strong woman or a happy woman, you need to abandon the opposite sex, or just completely delude or degrade the opposite sex. And
That,
it
that
also,
they should exist as like simps, right?
yeah, or
Yeah.
and it's also telling me that it's okay for me to have no direction or purpose or understanding of what my true desires are. That it's
I
kind of okay to just walk all over and fuck everyone else over in my immediate vicinity, so long as I figure out what's good for me. And I think,
I
sorry.
object to the us versus them mentality. That's like the baseline of what the problem.
Yeah, but that's
with
modern
the-
feminism. I mean, in intersexual politics in general. So
Yeah,
I mean, that's a thing.
that's what I think a lot of, even just like the casual moviegoers, it's like, yeah, they might not see into it that deeply at first, but the point is that every major point in the narrative or the character development is built off of one of those things. So you can't completely ignore it or just kind of mindlessly absorb it, right? And it all just it plants like an unintentional seed too, where you start to think like, it's like all those women that were posting online like, I left my boyfriend because he didn't like the Barbie movie or some shit like that, right? Who knows
Hey,
if that's true?
be happy for that, brother.
Right, that's a blessing in disguise, really.
Exactly. That motherfucker ought to be running around going, yes,
Dodged a
winning,
bullet.
all the winning.
Right. And when you get someone like Greta Gerwig, who is a self-proclaimed feminist and very like she's not a dumb writer. Like, she knows what she's doing. She's a very
She's not
competent.
incompetent. No.
Exactly. So she knows exactly what she's doing, and she wrote the script for this movie too while she was in a period of postpartum depression after the birth of her own daughter. Which again, also it makes sense why there's a lot of anti-motherhood
Right,
messaging throughout
right.
the entire film. So I agree with you that yes, we shouldn't always, like, I mean, in all circumstances give them that much credit, but at the same time there's enough of them where you can say like, yeah, they are, like, even with 50 Shades of Grey, it's as fucking pointless as that entire series is. It's literally just like smut on screen basically, but it does paint an image of like, you don't need to have any of your own autonomy. Like, you can be happy if you don't know who you are. All you need is money and a decadent lifestyle, and that will solve all of your problems. Oh, hot men after you is totally okay, because at least it adds excitement to your life. And
No,
you
you
don't
can. No, I
get-
think the lesson of 50 Shades of Grey is grapey is fine as long as it's rich and handsome.
that's exactly it.
Let
Twilight
the
is-
poor ugly guy try the same shit and find out how quickly the cops show up.
Yeah, that's the problem, I think, in like regular day-to-day dating social stuff, is that it's not creepy if she likes it. And that's a problem.
Amelia, I'm not, when I say, I guess maybe I should reword this. I'm not saying it's just a doll, isn't just a toy. Yes, I understand what the importance of Barbie is, but the way the plot of the movie was developed and the characters, it doesn't tell me that there were any barriers removed from being a woman. Instead, it just places one gender as superior to the other throughout the entire film. There's not one, the only smart-ish man is the gay one. Right? It's the one
Well,
with
duh.
a female brain. So, yeah, sorry, I misspoke there. I didn't choose my words correctly.
It is a waste of a franchise, though, isn't it? I mean, it's you know,
Yeah.
because I mean, that's another crime. There is it really is that you had this thing which gave joy to generations of girls, and the film isn't really celebrating that aspect of Barbie. It's using it as a platform for selling this crappy message instead. When it should have just been a campy film full of fun, maybe a little bit clever here and there, throwing a few things in for everybody.
It could have just been fun.
It could have just been fun. The target audience should have been camp men, but you know,
Yeah.
there you go.
And it showed that it had the potential to just be a fun, campy
Yeah.
film, but it
And
decided to go the other way.
Let's not forget that the Barbie doll is a ripoff of a German sex novelty toy for men.
That is true. That is
Yeah.
Wait,
absolutely
what?
true. Yeah, that's
That's
right.
what the
Yeah.
Barbie doll
Yep.
is based on. They ripped off a German doll, which was basically a little miniature sex toy for a gag gift for men. That's
Wow.
if you look it up, that's what
Yep,
it
it's
is.
the kind of thing that you would bring to like stag parties.
Yeah.
I'm using one now.
Well, and who
Basically,
isn't, really?
the inflatable
Could you
sex
mute
doll.
yourself?
That would
Yeah.
make it less fun for me.
Well, I think so. So there's an interesting kind of dynamic going on. So Vex is not a Star Wars fan,
No.
right? She
God
doesn't
bless
get
you.
it, right?
Hey,
But
You're getting
but-
off easy there.
so Vex, the reaction that you have to the Barbie movie
Mhm.
is exactly the reaction that so many guys have to the desecration of Star Wars movies, because these are things we grew up with, that we fantasize with the toys, about stories that we would tell, that separate and apart from the movies and all that stuff, and then would
Not
we built
exclusive-
up.
Not
certain-
exclusively men, but
No, but the
people of-
vast majority, look,
Yeah.
the vast majority of
Good
people who are
comparison.
buying
That's
action
a good
figures,
comparison.
the
Yeah.
vast majority of people that are buying action figures were boys, right?
Yeah, and
And over the way, my son had to put up with playing with Barbies because he was surrounded by sisters. So yeah, he is. If anybody could actually run the UN and get peace in the world, it would be my son, because he had to grow up surrounded by sisters
But
and
people of
make
our
pacemaker
generation,
for all the
Jay,
things, right?
It was basically a boys thing. It was not exclusively a boys
Right,
thing.
but it was
There were plenty of girls on the
mainly a boys thing.
playground that would play. In
Oh,
the
they would
sandbox
play.
with
They would play on the playground with you. What they
Yeah.
didn't have is all the action figures.
Right.
Right. Hell, I'll play house with you.
Right.
If I get to be the husband, but I'm not buying a Barbie so that I could play house. Right. That's the difference
live-
in investment, is the playing with the toy, the growing up with it, the its use in kind of how you fantasized about things and how you viewed things, right? And that's where Vex is the message is absolutely shit, right? But doubly so because it is despoiling a thing that she did grow up with, that she did project herself onto. And then when she sees, what the fuck is this thing? This is not how I viewed Barbie. This is not the worldview and the fantasies that I had about her. What is this dog shit that they're trying to shovel onto my memory and my childhood? Right. That's the same reaction. That's why you see people go, fuck TLJ and the house it came in with, right?
Yeah, it didn't destroy my childhood. It destroyed my adulthood, because that was our mythology growing up in our generation.
Right, and Vex is absolutely reacting the same way. This is the mythology. The Barbie was at a time, especially with when you look at its popularity growing in the 60s and 70s, right, where women really did have to deal with being treated other than, right, different and less than in many cases. And the only way that you have value is that you get married and you have kids and all that stuff. And that is a hell of a point of value for many women. But that you could also opt for, no, I'm going to be sun-loving Malibu Barbie, driving my Corvette and being on my own with my friends. And I don't have to have Ken as husband. Ken is just an accessory that shows up and he's kind of a friend. He could be a boyfriend if that's the way you want to fantasize with it. If it's not, then he's not, right? Because Mattel never sold Ken as husband or boyfriend of Barbie.
But let's be honest. We all just banged the Ken and Barbie dolls together with their null parts.
Yep.
Well, some of us just remove the Barbie's heads, shit like that.
Hold on, I gotta go feed a cat real quick. An actual cat, not.
Okay. I noticed the people were mentioning Henry Cavill. I thought you might be doing something different.
Well, I mean, if my gynecologist were Henry Cavill,
Exactly. Yeah.
I'd be at the
This
office
pap
every
smear.
day.
This pap smear needs to be done. I don't know what you're talking about
exactly.
here.
Oh, you need to insert stuff in me, doctor? Please.
Go right ahead. Oh, goodness.
Jesus. Go ahead.
50 shades of gynecology right here.
Fair enough. And when you come back, you'll be subjected to a really horrible horrible Sid Davis production.
This is a Sid Davis production in association with the Inglewood Police Department.
Man, thank you all for sticking this out. What a fucking nightmare this show is.
Well, that's what we promised them, isn't it? Really, it is Halloween.
Yeah. Well, I think so. Amelia brings up some good points about the idea of condemning the female chauvinism, but the traditional feminist message, and sadly, traditional feminism got up and left the room a long time ago. And the idea of women as second-class citizens, that's done now. I mean, if you want to go look at second class now, it's mostly men, especially of a particular hue. Right.
Yeah,
they're absolutely treated that way.
The first wave of feminism and a little bit after that was a very, very positive thing.
Right. And absolutely
positive.
Something that everybody who was a humanist could get behind. Right.
Yeah, equality, not superiority.
Right.
That's
right.
the problem.
And understanding that differences are in no way mean that one is lesser than, right.
Yes.
And men are used to the kind of thing where, okay, if a guy is 6'10" and can run like the wind and has ludicrous athletic ability, he is going to fit certain skill sets and certain occupations that somebody who's 5'2" is not, right? You'll have an outlier, Spud Webb in the NBA, right? Who's a short guy who could actually dunk and all that stuff, but he ain't dunking on Wilt Chamberlain.
Right. That's rare.
Right. And so the idea that in the same way that men who, were very much about, George Lucas, I'm going to make cinema and I care about the technical stuff and all that. Right. That doesn't mean that he's going to go into the computer industry and be gangbang on that. Right. And be able to come up with the Apple II or the Commodore 64 or anything like that. Right. The recognition that, yeah, you think differently, you view things differently, you have different interests. That doesn't mean that you're less than. It just means you're different.
Right. And that's not allowed anymore.
Yeah, well, again, it's that everybody's the same. Are they?
No.
Right, because for
Obviously
however
not.
much you identify as strong women's or whatever, the upper 90th percentile of women athletes have the hand strength of the lower 20% of men.
Yeah. What was
Right.
that?
And again, I have 2 performance enhancing drug generators between my legs. Right. My bones are more dense. The basic musculature that I have is more than any woman could have. Now, are there certain women? Go look at the Olympic records for men versus women. You can identify however you want. But if you are biologically a woman, you are physically inferior to the vast majority of men.
For
which in
physical
no
tasks.
way means
Yes.
that means you're less than. There's a reason Sam Colt made guns, right? The idea was the slogan was God created all men equal. Sam Colt kept it that way, right? And so if a woman has a gun, I don't care how big you are, you're getting dropped. Right. Fiona, with her trigger discipline, is dropping the vast majority of men.
I would not piss her off.
No, you don't fuck around with Fiona. Right. And oh, by the way, physically, she would be like a light snack. You would just brush her aside.
Right. And that's
I think she'd wrestle me quite hard.
Well, only because you would want it that way. Yes. Yeah.
I would hate every second of it.
I know it would be terrible.
Yeah, and it reminds me of I can't remember the fellow's name, but there was a tennis player that challenged Venus or Serena Williams to a match, showed up drunk, smoking a cigarette, and whipped her ass.
Well,
Absolutely
so Serena actually in an interview she was talking, because they were talking about, I mean, she is so strong, right, compared to women, although Martina Navratilova also one of the strongest
I would not want to
tennis
fight
players.
either one
Right.
of them.
But Martina Navratilova had already said, and oh, by the way, Martina's a gay woman, so
Very gay.
but she had said that she could not compete with any men in the top 50 in tennis, right? And oh my God, there was an uproar or whatever. Serena said the same thing, right? She's like, the no way, and then had to recant because of this huge outcry or whatever. But go look at the speeds of serves between men and women, right?
Yeah, but on the flip side of that, we had the film Battle of the Sexes with Billie Jean King and Bobby Riggs.
Right. Bobby Riggs, who was a 50-some-year-old retired guy, and oh, by the way, Billie Jean still had to work to get him, right? But the way she was beating him was speed on court, because
I enjoyed every part of the film, except for the exposition commentary that was coming from the court commentators. It was just far too much. It was just like, well, he needs 2 more hits to win, that kind of thing. It was just like far too on the nose. But they do that all the time in sports movies.
Yeah, and I think we've all seen enough coverage and heard enough talk about it. But that is the problem with modern media, is that you're supposed to believe that Emilia Clarke is going to whip the shit out of a 200-pound man, and it's just it's insane. And there's no derision in looking at that and seeing it's ridiculous.
Right. It's when I was in college. So again, I'm 6'5", and at that time about a 195, because I was in fighting weight at that time, right? And I would go, play pickup basketball. And one day we were playing pickup, and there weren't that many people there. And there was a girl that I'd seen working out. She was pretty regular in the weight room, right? And she could lift pretty decently, especially for her size, but she was like maybe 5'8", 5'9", and you could tell she had played high school basketball and was pretty good, right? So she could dribble really well and had a pretty good shot and all that stuff. Well, she comes in, she's like, no, I'll play or whatever. And I'm just looking, I was like, no, this is a bad idea, right? And she decides she's going to body up on me and try and move me out of the paint. And I'm like, look, little tiny girl, I don't know what you're doing. and she is like throwing elbows, like trying to play like a dude. And I'm looking at the other guys going, dude, what am I supposed to do? Because if I actually play her like a dude,
right,
she is going to get
full bore,
wrecked, and I am going to look like the asshole.
Right.
But if she shoots over me, I am taking nothing but shit for the rest of my life from the guys I'm playing with, because we're like, damn, you see that girl, she shoot on this and whatever. So I'm like, all right, I will body up. You're not moving me, and I'm not going to play hard. But if you try and shoot over me, I'm throwing your shit. And I threw her shit so many times, she finally realized she better step way outside of the paint and take a shot, and I'll give her some space. But it was like, hun, I know you were probably a killer in high school. I didn't play high school basketball. Right. But I'm telling you, I'll kill you out here.
Well, and on the same token, I don't want to fight Gina Carano because I'm not an athlete. I'm built for fighting more than the average woman just by genetics. But she's a trained athlete, and she could whip my ass. I have no doubt about it.
Technique, she's got a real chance against me.
Yeah.
The problem is, if any of her technique involves strength, she's going to have a problem.
Yeah, and there's
because I'm gonna grab you, and no, you're not. Right? I can I am a sit on ass 53-year-old man, and if you decide, okay, you want to arm wrestle me, you're going to lose.
Right.
And it's not like I've been working out for the last 20 years.
No, it's physics.
But again, the basic musculature that I have, the bone strength that I have, the attachments that I built up, and the strength that I built up when younger, because again, testosterone's a hell of a drug. That you can be as big and bad as you want. You beat me probably in a sprint if you're a world-class sprinter as a woman. Right. But take a better than average high school girl sprinter, right, who's probably in her prime, or college, right, and in a 40, because I can't guarantee I'll complete the 100, but in a 40, I bet I beat you.
Yeah, I can't do 100 anymore.
Yeah, 100. I'll be like, I hope the oxygen mask is there at the end.
Yeah, there is this I don't even know how to talk about it anymore. There's this obvious discrepancy, the She-Hulk mentality of just like, oh no, we can do everything and whip your ass, and then
I think there absolutely is like a 5 to 10% of the top women athletes, right? Power lifters and stuff like that. Oh, they will fuck me up.
pole vaulters, fucking sprinters. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. But there's
I mean,
not
again, the women who focus on strength, right? Who and oh, by the way, haven't been taking performance enhancing drugs, which I carry with me all the time.
that aside. Yeah,
But they're absolutely what now. Take me when I was 20, when I was lifting regularly or whatever. I'm
take me at an equal age.
I'm gonna mess you up.
Yeah, if a 53-year-old woman tried to come at me, there
She's
would be
getting nothing
jail
but
time.
just knock the fuck out. I'll apologize while I'm doing it, but you lay hands on me, you're a guy.
I give her 50-50, I think, for personally. I get tired running a bath.
That's true, yes.
I've injured myself in my sleep.
What?
That's how old I am.
Oh, same. I'll wake up and be like, the fuck did I do to myself? But I see that I'm not going to be walking right for the next couple of days.
Oh, I had a Thai massage yesterday, and a woman who was about 4'11" just beat the crap out of me for about an hour.
And I welcome it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I paid her a little extra for
and
it.
I paid her money.
I actually, when I was in California, so this is in my late 20s, I had my back seize up on me, and I went to a deep muscle massage therapist, right? And the woman that came out looked like Olga from the East German swim team of the late 70s, early 80s.
I got
right?
a salt scrub from her in Hawaii.
She a hefty girl, right? She's strong, right?
Yes.
After working on me for an hour, she gave my money back, but asked that I never come back again. Because she could not loosen up my muscles. And I mean, she was every bit of 200 pounds.
Wow.
And she is just grinding and getting on elbows and all that stuff. And she's like, let me know when it hurts. I will.
Okay. Yeah. Waiting.
I'm just waiting. When does this happen? Right. And I came back home. My wife's like, how did it go? Well, I got my money back. She might need a massage. I think she probably needs a deep muscle massage now.
Yeah, I got a salt scrub from her. I know the woman you're talking about. Absolutely. Vex, are you here?
I'm here.
Okay, well, you're going to have to watch a Sid Davis movie.
All right, let's
on
bring
homosexuality, right?
The dangers.
I've never seen this before.
You lying motherfucker. You lying bitch.
Don't bullshit me, Smylexx. Whoa.
Let's do this shit one more time then, eh?
Whoa.
Am I a cow, Smylexx? Is that what I am?
Did you find it amusing?
I mean, in addition to menstruation, there are some other bodily functions we need to probably educate Vex on. I see.
I think he speaks for all of us. I heard a rumor that Vex is married.
I heard that rumor too.
I don't spread those kind of ugly rumors.
Well, Vex, if you're not sure, then okay, here we go. I'm gonna run to the bar. You guys enjoy this, I guess.
It needs the BBC voiceover. Always beware.
I'm on my way to Monroe Junior High School to talk to a group of young people.
That looks innocent enough, doesn't it? Lots of young people hitchhike. Seems like a good way to get from one place to another. But sometimes there are dangers involved that never meet the eye.
My name's Friday.
Let's take the
I carry
case
a
of
badge.
Jimmy Barnes. Jimmy played baseball all afternoon, and he didn't feel like walking home, so he decided to thumb a ride. He'd done it 100 times before, and he didn't think anything was unusual when the driver struck up a friendly conversation. In fact, he seemed like a real nice guy. He asked Jimmy if he played baseball in the park often. Jimmy told him they practiced 3 times a week and played a rival group on Friday afternoon. The stranger was a good listener, too, and it only seemed minutes before they pulled up in front of Jimmy's house.
Are you a pitcher
When
or a
Jimmy got
catcher,
out, the
Jimmy?
stranger gave him a friendly pat.
Yeah, guys, if we don't transform this content,
Then he told him he'd see him again, as he
There
always
he is,
drove by the
John
park on
Waters.
his way home.
It's good to see John Waters again.
Where's the gayness? Was the ride?
Oh, don't worry. Oh, it's coming.
Okay.
I mean, you saw John Waters, for God's sakes.
yeah, back in the day, gayness
Sure
was
enough,
like creepy.
the following day, when Jimmy finished playing ball, well, the man was there waiting.
This is actually how Vex met her husband.
Oh.
I was soliciting gay men. and
Yes, yes.
I got the only straight one for some
Imagine
reason.
your
Stopped at a
disappointment.
drive-in, and the stranger treated him to a Coke. During their
Call that a
conversation, he
switch-hitter.
told several off-color jokes, but Jimmy had heard others before, and, well, it made him feel big to so easily win the confidence of an older person.
Vex would be in no way disturbed by off-color jokes.
Not at all, no.
No.
I'm disturbed by her off-color joke.
The following Saturday, they went fishing together.
Well, you got to make
By
it
now,
about
they
color.
were using first names. Ralph said it was more friendly.
Holding rod, running rivers.
Want to bait my line,
Jimmy
Vex?
hadn't enjoyed himself so much in a long time. Then during lunch, Ralph showed him some pornographic pictures. Jimmy
You
knew
ever seen
it
a
would
picture of
be
Henry
interesting,
Cavill?
but, well, he
I
was
don't know what
tough.
his comment
What
God
Jimmy didn't
damn!
know was that
Why
Ralph
would
was
you
sick.
say
A
that?
sickness that was not visible like smallpox, but no less dangerous and contagious.
I think we're over the
sickness
line.
of the mind.
Is it a
You
female
see,
Henry
Ralph was a
Cavill in your
homosexual,
picture?
a person who demands an intimate
Henrietta
relationship
Cavill.
with members of their own sex.
AI is the future, folks.
But by now, Jimmy felt a fondness for Ralph, and they continued to go places together. Ralph was generous and took Jimmy many interesting places and did many nice things for him.
Oh, miniature golf, the first step
He
into
bought presents and
homosexuality.
That's
even
true.
gave
It's a
him
gateway
money.
drug.
But payments were
It worked for
expected
me.
in return. You
Get
see,
used to putting
Jimmy
something in
hadn't
the hole.
recognized Ralph's approach soon enough. When Ralph first asked Jimmy to go fishing alone, he should have discussed it with his parents or
In a
teacher.
hotel.
That's
Finally,
right, Jimmy. The
told
fish are in
his
here.
parents, and they reported it to the juvenile authorities. Ralph was arrested, and Jimmy was released on probation in the custody of
Wait,
his
how old
parents.
is Jimmy?
46.
But all homosexuals are not passive. Some resort to
matters?
violence, as in the case of Mike Merrick.
He's a Detroit fan.
In the heat of competition, no one noticed the
Already
man
a
who
loser.
sat and watched.
Exactly.
And when the game broke up
He'll show you
and
his
the others
business.
left, Mike decided to stay and practice a little longer.
No, the standard hole, Gemma.
Make your own hole.
The
Well,
stranger
Amelia
joined
said
him.
it does
He was
stretch.
friendly,
So.
and, well, it was better than playing alone. But after a few shots, Mike realized he had already overstayed his time and suggested he better leave. The stranger told him if he'd like to stay longer, he'd be glad to drive him home when they finished.
He's wearing a bow
Sounded
tie,
great
isn't
to
he?
Mike. Chance
he's
to play
playing
longer
basketball
and get a
in a
ride
boat.
home,
As
too.
is the style for homosexuals.
One of the things that was my favorite about the movie we did not get to watch was the number of people in full suits and cops in full uniform hanging around on the beach.
When they finished, the stranger told him he'd make a fine player someday if he got lots of practice.
They were worried
The
about
companionship, the praise, the friendly attitude dispelled any misgivings Mike might have had about going with a stranger. He probably never realized until too late that he was riding in the shadow of death. But sometime
Shadow
that
of
evening,
death.
Mike Merritt
That's
traded
right.
his life
Like the
for a
Ford
newspaper
Fairlane,
headline.
the shadow of death.
He fears no evil. I think that's actually a Mercury by the taillights.
The shadow
As
of death
Denny
would
and
be a
Jerry got the
Corvair.
papers ready for Jerry's afternoon delivery, they only casually noticed the two boys that raced by in the afternoon traffic.
And
they didn't pay much attention to the car
Run,
that
it's a
blew up shortly
homosexual.
afterwards, until the man called them over.
Hi, I'm here to find some U.S. mails.
Two boys been by on bicycles?
Oh, hi.
The boys nodded they had. Could they
You
recognize them
like
if they saw
movies
them
about
again?
gladiators?
Well, Denny guessed he could. And hop in, the man said. Those are stolen bikes. Without giving it another thought, Denny got in and the car sped away. Jerry watched.
We pause.
He'd been told
Oh,
many
indeed.
times.
Time out. Second time out for Vex.
This homosexual PSA is
Yeah.
poisoning gay men to be pedos.
Yes. Yes.
It's an instructional film.
Interesting.
So you'll note this is probably from 1960 because that's a 59 Impala that he's driving, and that Comet that he was driving was probably a 58.
You sound like you might be living through a memory right now. Hold on.
Look,
What was the leather interior like?
I'm not saying I am the kid standing here, but I'm just strongly suggesting.
What is the smell of the vinyl?
No, I guarantee you, we start pausing, I can start naming the cars and the years and what they were. Yeah.
Do you remember how many holes you putted with him and which holes he putted on you?
I know that I didn't get in, so my holes are all still copacetic. But I had to go tell his parents about the holes that Jimmy was going to get.
I do love those big American cars that have got the full seat. No.
the bench seat.
It's a bench seat. Yeah, there's
those
no
are
console
great.
there. Yeah,
Those are so great.
Suddenly, Jay is reliving his paradise by the AM dashboard light.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gross.
If a friend got in a car
Like it's
with a
cold and
stranger,
lonely in the
they'll
deep
write
dark
down
night.
the license number. It didn't seem to apply,
Do
but
anything for
well,
love, but I
fortunately, he
won't
marked
do
it down.
But I won't do that. Well, yes, you will.
Is
When he
this still
delivered a
Inglewood?
paper to Denny's house,
yes,
he asked his mother if they'd caught the
Very
boys that
suburban.
had stolen the bicycle.
Very
Denny hadn't returned,
white.
so he told her the story.
Yes,
and gave
yes.
her the paper
This is
with
this
the
is like
license
the era
number.
when Jerry Jones was living in it. Not so much color nowadays.
Being a careful parent, she decided to call the police. Jerry supplied the necessary information, and the stranger's car was quickly spotted.
Magnum
was
Force.
a good
Here we
example
go.
of how important it is
By a
to
couple of
always
gay
get the
cops in
license
leather.
number and description of any
there any
stranger
other
who
kind of gay
takes
cops
a
in
young
leather?
person off
What's
alone.
the crime
no
officer
matter what
driving
they
without
say.
my phone number?
Exactly. Are you heading to the Blue Oyster Club?
Public restrooms can often be a hangout for the homosexual.
You're damn right.
That's true. That is absolutely true. Yeah.
Ask
I've
George
done
Michael.
research.
Yeah.
Bobby and his friends hadn't noticed the man who had been in the restroom when they changed, and as it was late, he suggested they take the shortcut under the pier, but the others preferred to take the more traveled way home.
I mean, if you want to go under the pier, you know what you're asking for. Come on.
It's good music.
Well, thanks for coming back.
Oh, look at that.
When
He goes,
Bobby
he's thinking
recognized
about going through the
stranger
hole.
as the man in the restroom,
I'm glad that
the
Amelia has a
shortcut
favorite
under
bit.
the pier didn't seem like a good idea at all.
Mine's usually the end credits, but you go for
Yeah,
whatever
exactly.
you like.
Yeah.
Gently loosen that fence.
After all, it's more fun to stay with your friends anyway. Bobby had made a wise decision. It may have saved his life. The decision is always
Jamma, no
yours,
love for John?
and your whole future may depend on making the right one. So no matter where you meet a stranger, be careful if they are too friendly, if they try to win your confidence too quickly, and if they become overly personal. One never knows when the homosexual is about. He may appear normal, and it may be too late when you discover he is mentally ill. So keep with your group.
The same could be
and
said for
don't go off
YouTubers.
alone with
That's
strangers
true, yes.
Unless you have the permission of your
And the
parent
YouTube
or
censor.
teacher.
You come across really friendly and personal.
Vex, do you have the permission of your
Hiding.
parents to be hanging around with YouTubers?
Yes.
Chips will return in a moment.
I can't wait till we watch that again.
So you do you feel educated now, Vex? Do you understand the?
So from my understanding, what this video was trying to teach me is that all gays are white.
Yes.
All
Yep.
gays are pedos.
Definitely.
All gays will groom you by talking nice to you and
Of
taking
course.
you places.
Yeah.
Therefore, Justin Trudeau is gay.
As
I mean,
of
I think
now.
there's a larger body of evidence that demonstrates that. But yes,
I'm just resetting my
He may also be a lesbian because he has been parading as a heterosexual, but notice that his marriage is broken up.
I'm just resetting my Sid Davis countdown clock on the wall again. 0 days from seeing Sid Davis.
Sid Davis. Yeah, Sid
Got to
Davis
14.
Yep.
I didn't plan this.
And to be fair, the one you saw 14 days ago was not the full Sid Davis.
No, that's true.
This was the full Sid Davis.
Wow. Oh, and that also the gays are apparently wealthy because they can just cruise around neighborhoods in broad daylight picking up children.
Yeah, they don't work. They're not working. They're just riding around in cars, well dressed in suits and ties.
In America,
to be fair, I can cruise around neighborhoods, and I'm not exactly wealthy, so I don't know that wealth is.
The gays have all the money in America.
That's true. That's true.
They have fabulous homes.
Yeah, the pink pound is strong.
Yeah.
Well, I feel better prepared for the world now. That's for sure.
Well, I think importantly, Vex, are you now better educated against the dangers of homosexuality?
You know what? I just wish that this video was as graphic and informational as the lesbian video.
Right?
It seems a little interesting that, the gay females are really aggressive and they'll get a gang to pin you down and do things to you. But then the male ones just like them really young and will like shower you with gifts. Like,
so again, I mean, this shows also the difference between the men and the women. Men are used to showering gifts on those that they're actually trying to get laid with. This is a thing that exists,
but not actually
homosexual or heterosexual, right? This is universal. Also, this was made by the Inglewood Police Department. I don't believe that Attack Lesbians was made by the Inglewood Police Department. I think it was more of Samuel L. Bronkowitz Presents.
Tom, that's all on you. I don't know why you took your eyes away from this stream. But yeah, we've shown it twice.
Tom, this is twice now. If you haven't got it by now, that is all on you.
Thankfully, this second stream will not be struck.
The second
so you
stream
can rewatch
tonight.
it.
You know, the word otter is used in gay parlance.
Really?
Is it?
Well, obviously we know what a
Gerbil,
bear
I can
is.
understand, but otter, that's
a bear would be describing Jay. Jay would be
a bear. Yeah.
The big sort of a furry man.
Yeah, hairy.
An otter is a guy that's usually sort of between 18 and 25, fairly muscular and slim.
Really?
Yep. I
Is
learned
that,
that from.
is that why you use otter so much?
I'm into otter asphyxiation. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. No, I have seen Smylexx's cultural references. He is not between those ages.
Yeah, Sadly, that is true.
he's pushing a little closer to mine than he is that. Yeah.
Wishful thinking. There you go.
Oh, but then again, our lovely French reviewer, the French, the uninspired reviewer, he can get away with
an
some
old soul, but he doesn't actually know a lot of those references.
Well, okay, you're right. I was trying to use him as camouflage there.
I
Clearly didn't
defy
work.
you to get uninspired to go, no, I know KLF and can recite from memory lyrics.
Justified Ancients of Mumu.
Yeah, Justified Ancients of Mumu. Yeah, no, that's not how. Well, they're justified and they're ancient. Okay, all right, whatever you want to tell yourself.
Nailed it here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it has been an interesting evening, hasn't it?
A very, very interesting evening. We all turned a little bit gay. I think we all turned a little bit straight as well. And I'm very well versed on African American history now.
Exactly. Now you understand the history of the space race, and that the white NASA was not actually the first to the moon.
I really want a NASA shirt.
Oh hell yes!
I will put them up.
So there was a hilarious thing. So it was when I was working with a newspaper group, and a story came across, and it was about a college where the one of the Indian student groups was mad about the mascot or something like that, right? And because I don't know, it was Spartans or something like that. And so as part of their intramural sports team, they decided to call themselves the Fighting Whiteys. And it had a picture of, like, you know, the 50s.
What?
Yeah, it was the Fighting Whiteys. And they had a like the 50s guy giving the thumbs up, right? You know, the clip art kind of thing. And their slogan was, everything's going to be all white. Okay.
Oh no.
They were selling t-shirts of this because they were trying to mock their college, and instead they were inundated with orders because everybody found it hilarious. And I actually put in an order that was canceled, as with a lot of others, because I absolutely wanted the Fighting Whiteys t-shirt with everything's going to be all white with the guy giving his thumbs up
Now
and the big
wait,
smile.
were you canceled because they were out of stock?
No,
or-
they canceled because they thought they were you know, owning the chuds, and actually everybody had a great sense of humor about it. It was like, hell yeah, I want that. That is hilarious. I'm absolutely ordering that. And they canceled it because the message that they were actually trying to send kind of fell on deaf ears, because everybody just thought it was hilarious. And nobody was offended. And they were like, what do you mean you're not offended? I mean, we're not offended. That's some hilarious shit.
I grew up in Ohio, in Columbus and Akron, which is right next door to Cleveland, and it took 100 years for the Cleveland Indians to change their fucking mascot from a stereotype.
Well, and actually, notice their attendance afterwards dropped.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
How do
in
you
the same
know
way,
that?
in the same way, the Washington Commanders, but was the football team, and then I think they got sued for false advertising because they're not actually a football team. They were originally the Redskins, and the much like the Kansas City Chiefs, the reason for the names of both of those teams were because of founding coaches that were involved with that. Right. That they were Native American. And the people that were making the uproar were a bunch of white liberals. Where the actual native groups were like, shut the fuck up. We're fine with this, right? They actually tried to cancel the Florida Seminoles because, oh my God, you're appropriating or whatever. And the Seminole Nation was like, shut the fuck up, you white people. We're good with this. Just leave us the hell alone. Now, hilariously, there is still in Kansas a native, an Indian college, right? That was established early on when they were still taking people off the res and forcing them into schools, into white schools, right? And their mascot are the Braves, an Indian college. called the Braves.
Hmm.
But meanwhile, let's throw a fit over Atlanta being called the Braves.
Show me your casino.
I've got several in Kansas. We got a whole bunch of casinos. I have been dying because I'm like, my grandmother was a half Native American, so I'm like a 8, something like that, right? But sadly, because at the time that she was growing up, you did not want to identify in any way because there were no benefits to it, right? So I'm on no tribal rolls. I don't even know what tribe we are because sadly she died like in her 50s, so I couldn't talk and find out where our heritage is or whatever. But I desperately wanted to be in charge of a reservation because I would tell the federal government to get fucked in about 87 different ways. Because according to the laws that pertain to the federal government versus Indian reservations are considered kind of their own nation states.
So wait a minute. You were exceptionally proud to be a white man in charge of Indian affairs.
No, I'd be like,
Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm 8. I'm good. What I would be exceptionally proud of is telling the federal government to get fucked in a variety of ways. People, we need to stop fucking around. Let's get serious about taking these people to task. The hell with just selling cigarettes tax-free. Let's sell everything tax-free. Right? Let's make all the money off of the whiteys that we want to. That's why I love casinos, because it's like Indians aren't going to the casinos to gamble.
No.
There's a bunch of dumb white people that are going there. Please, more. All the casinos, right? If you go to Oklahoma, the different reservations actually have toll roads on them, right? And you are happy to pay those tolls because those are the butterest smooth roads where you have speed limits where you can go like 90 miles an hour. And every time I get to the toll, I'm like, yes, allow me to pay more. I just want to keep driving this miraculous highway as opposed to what's run by the state.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Indian reservations.
How's that Crazy Horse Memorial coming along? It's still going?
Yeah, sadly, I think that guy died, and so it's still sitting there half-assed.
Yeah.
We do need to wrap it up soon, but it gives me a strange...
Are you trying to get more reservations from Vex for later shows? Is that what you're saying?
I feel like Vex is checked out, and I don't blame her for one.
I'm starting to get sleepy. That's why. It's well past my bedtime.
It's 6:30 a.m. for me. Don't talk to me about lacking sleep.
Like, I just want to say, if Henry Cavill was on this stream, oh, she'd be wide awake. Oh, no, my bad. No, I can put that off for forever. I'm good.
If Henry Cavill were on this stream,
It would already be bedtime. Yes, I understand. Yes, it's a different bedtime.
I guess. Well, what I was going to say instead was I would learn how to locate people through just IP addresses.
Exactly, yeah.
And go over there, and then it would be bedtime for us.
But like, she would be messaging us, keep him on stream. I'm not there yet. I'm almost there.
I would pin him down.
She would be SS Sniper Wolf standing outside his house.
I'm already
screaming
picturing
it,
her.
I'm going in. I'm going
picturing
in
her with the
now."
pipe.
Yeah.
I can see you with the pipe already.
Exactly. Yeah. She already drew the straw. She's like, I got the straw. What's up? So Vex, how has your experience been on the darker side of the streaming, the not quite so mainstream where preparation helps you in any way?
Well,
Preparation H.
It was quite nice actually, and this took a very unexpected detour into fun retro land a little bit with some clips. So I had a very good time, and I would be happy to come back in a few weeks.
Please do.
In a few weeks, it's more like 3 years trying to get a hold of you.
I work on Saturdays. Like, I'm going to be exhausted tomorrow now at work. That's why I like to avoid Friday streams. But like once in a while, I'll do it. But
Well, we really appreciate you showing up.
It was my pleasure. I was looking forward to this. So
I'm
it's
so
yeah.
sorry we got interrupted by the copyright police. That I did not see that coming.
Dude, don't even worry about it. It was
Vex has seen that second movie. I don't know that she's all that disappointed that we got it interrupted by the copyright.
I came prepared, so I'm fine not watching that.
She's like, hell yes, I'm glad to skip that shit.
I don't blame you one bit. Yeah, I was about to dive into res cars. I don't know if anybody's familiar with this, but on Indian land, you don't need any kind of certification or licensing or
No, it's
any
purely
kind of
up to the
permit.
reservation for any regulations.
Yeah, to drive a vehicle as long as it moves. And maybe we'll get into this another.
I've been on res, even if it doesn't move, that's fine. I've encountered plenty of those non-moving ones as well.
I can't pull anything up quick, but yeah, we'll dive into res cars. Thank you so much, everyone, for showing up, and thank you for sticking it out. Anybody still watching, please leave us a tip on Patreon. We need it very much. I'm working on a PayPal donation link.
What is the greatest nation in the world?
Donation.
And every dollar counts. So every subscription counts. And please give a little interaction. Leave a comment on the half-ass recorded stream here. I'll try and piece it together and put it back on the channel. Vex, it's been a pleasure. And Smylexx, Jay, thank you so much. And we'll be back next week on our usual trip of casual racism and all of
detecting hidden homosexual
closets.
themes. Yes, I do want to give a special shout out that Smylexx has not once assaulted Vex, and while
the ankle bracelet has been going off constantly, but I just got used to it after the first hour.
They did have some part, but trust me, it's also a certain act of will on his part.
Back in the box, Smylexx.
Let's celebrate that. Yes.
All right. Cheers, you guys. Thank you very much. And
thank you, everybody. Thank you, chat.
Everyone, yeah, thank you very much to the chat. You guys are the lifeblood that keeps us going. And everyone have a happy Halloween.
Cheers, all.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Good night, everyone. And if I can find our outro here. Boy, is
did you leave it in the bathroom again?
No, we started a new stream. That's the problem. Hang on.
Your prostate acting up again, or you and Brownie want to have a talk?
It's all about the timing.
Timing.
Ming.
He's getting picked up by a rich white man right now. That's
Oh my God.
He's distracted.
Let's go fishing.
It started.
Let's hold some rods together. I'll take you.
Exactly. I'll bait your hook. You bait mine.
Why is this happening? Holy fuck. Stop it. Ah.
This is the professionality you've come to expect,
What?
everybody.
Oh
Perhaps
my
that
God.
last drink was not recommended.
We are, we're fine. We're all fine here.
I'm fine. We're fine. How are you? Thanks, Han Solo.
You're browning out a little bit. There you go.
Brown
And now,
myself
folks,
out every
it's time
morning
to say
after
good
coffee.
night. We sincerely appreciate your patronage
Thanks,
and hope
guys.
we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home
Thank you,
carefully
everybody.
and come
Great
back
chat.
again soon.
Thank you, Vex.
Good night.
For
My
putting up with
pleasure. Bye, everyone.
See you next week, guys.